Lords and ladies, welcome to Beyond the Source Wall, issue 7, the subsequent comic episode. Very nice.
You will never get this. You will never get this.
You'll never get this.
Wah, wah, woo, wah.
All right, hell yeah. Yeah, so for any of you not in on the little, Borat came out, so it was very nice. I excited.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it was one of the most true to form sequels. I couldn't believe it. I watched Borat like a couple days ago. It literally transferred into the next one so well. The quality was just shitty. They didn't try to like go big blockbuster with like, all of a sudden like, Anchorman 2. There's like a film quality there.
It was much more scripted, it felt like.
Yes.
But they hit a lot of things. Like in the very beginning, they touched immediately on like all of these things, from like the fact that he pooped in front of Trump's building. I saw that, and when I was watching Borat, I was like, yo, he's pooping in front of Trump's building. I was like, I wonder if that was going to get brought up, and it did. He was like, he couldn't, because of that. They were like, that was like one reason why he couldn't get to see Trump immediately, or what, It's funny.
The opening jokes about Kazakhstan, I was just dying laughing.
Yeah. He did a good job, and I know he threw it together within the last 8 months or 6 months, something like that. Not even.
Well, they were already recording before the pandemic.
Last year.
Yes.
Okay, but he included the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for. It really felt like it led up to like it was.
Yeah, it kind of upended the production, and then they had to hit it.
That's what they did a good. They did a good job.
Yeah.
Good for him for trying to pull another one out. I know. I don't know. It's funny. Like I don't get it. It's like it's all a joke. And like my buddy, he showed me Sacha Baron Cohen. He loved Sacha Baron Cohen. And then one day he became like, he's this very devoted Trump supporter. Like he moved down to Tennessee, like Nashville. Doesn't listen to rap no more. He's all country. I don't know how that all changes. Like I don't know how your political. It's funny how people adjust politically to. What he no longer listens to any. He's not gonna watch the Borat movie, and I'm like, why? I don't get it. I don't see. You're so devoted that it's almost ruined it for you. You're the guy who showed me him, and now you can't even get into it. So, well, I'm sure there will be a lot of workplace conversation, or maybe not. I don't know. My workplace will probably be talking a lot of shit, but I don't know. It depends on where you work, I guess. But yeah. This movie was pretty funny. They did a good job. It did feel more scripted, but it also I'm surprised he still
Some
looked
bits
like it was.
Some bits I
Borat.
thought were scripted. I looked up and they actually weren't scripted, so it might not be as scripted as
impressive.
we.
He has a
feel.
lot.
Yeah.
I'm saying only the scenes between Borat and his daughter. Those were the only scenes that I'm saying. Like
there was there was a story element that was placed in harder on this one because of definitely.
none of the scenes
Did anybody else pick up on
other
the
than
fact
like
that they were speaking?
and that stuff was
Sorry, you're both talking at the same time. I heard neither of you.
I stopped. I was just asking if did you guys notice that they were speaking perfect Hebrew?
One was
I
speaking
heard
Hebrew,
that
the other
Hebrew.
one
His
is
daughter was
speaking
speaking Bulgarian.
Bulgarian.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, they so
The actors
Sasha's.
were Bulgarian.
That was the same thing, just so you know. That was the same thing in the first one. He was speaking
He was
Hebrew
speaking-
and he was speaking Kazakhstan or something like that. Like
No,
I don't know what
what was his friend's name in the first one?
Azamat Begatov.
Yeah, Azamat. He was speaking Algerian in the first one,
Algerian,
and Borat
that's
was
it.
speaking Hebrew.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's so weird.
So it's funny, like
because they wanted to highlight that US
we
audiences
can't tell the
can't
difference.
tell the difference between two languages.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you could hear it in this one a little more clearly as he's like "Hakabata, haka." Like there's a lot of like phlegm in the Hebrew, and then the Bulgarian was but still, yeah, it's funny that he does that stuff too, because like I don't know, a lot of people don't pick up on shit like that. It's true. I think his greatest gift right now is the sad thing about real journalism is that you have to kind of. I know he makes a joke of it, but he does a good job. He goes undercover. He like gets these people to talk about things because they feel comfortable now around him, because he's that type of person to be like, that's his whole thing, is to make you look in the mirror, and these people that get comfortable enough to say shit to him, and you're like, holy shit, you know what you're just saying on camera? Like, that's crazy. So he's very good at it. I hope one day he takes his journalism and he takes it seriously, because I heard when he was doing the We Are America show he did for HBO or
Who was
something.
America?
Yeah, Who is America? One of the episodes had to be scrapped. He had to call the FBI. He uncovered a pedophile ring, and he scrapped the episode. Huh?
That made it in.
Oh, I don't know. Did it make it? Oh, it made it in. You're saying? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, okay. I just know that he had to call the FBI on it and shit, and like have it investigated. Like that was like it was a big discovery.
He's like some billionaire, and he's gonna bring. He's gonna be
shipping them. Yeah, shipping them over on a boat.
And he's basically talking with like a concierge. He's meeting with the concierge. Like,
yeah,
you can give me some, young girls, right? And the guy's just like, yeah, anything you want.
Anything you need, we do it. Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up.
Yeah, when you're watching, it's hard to tell if he is just like saying, yeah, dude, whatever, I'll get you whatever. If he's, actually serious,
right?
You don't know what happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, but he's a good journalist in that aspect that he has to wear a body vest, man. He doesn't know what's gonna fucking happen to him.
He's very good at getting, stuff out of people.
Yes, and people say you tricked me. I'm like, really? Yeah. Did he? Do you know? Is that's who you are though? You kind of just There was no trickery there,
Hey guys, let's talk about comics.
Oh yeah, good call. I got on my Borat shtick. All right, the first.
We didn't have an episode of The Boys, so we had to talk about Borat.
Yeah, right. All right, let's go over the first one we're going to discuss. I believe everybody read it. Was this bad boy or bad girl? John, do you want to hit us with the deets?
Yeah. So it was Batman White Knight Presents Harley Quinn #1, written by Katana Collins and co-written by Sean Murphy, and art by Matteo Scalera.
Who wants to give us the runaround? Because we're just going to go over the overview of the issue and then just say whether we dug it or not. So, does anybody want to hit us with it? Sean, you didn't like it. Why don't you hit us with it? You were a little salty about it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I said I was
you were a little salty?
unsure what to think on it.
Go on.
Yeah, so basically it's dealing with Harley Quinn after the Joker's death in Curse of the White Knight and sort of her life with this. And then, so we get a flashback to her first meeting Jack. And then we have a scene of her at home dealing with her two twins. And we have her visiting Bruce in prison. And then she goes to a murder scene to help out at the end. And that was the end of the issue.
That was Duke who came and talked to her, right?
Yeah, Duke Thomas.
Yeah, that was cool. So I like how he was drawn, and I like the art of this one so much. This is my favorite. Some of my favorite art is this.
Yeah, I'm going to say, and this isn't a criticism, but this does feel Sean Murphy light.
Oh, like you're saying it's the B team? You're saying it's the B team?
Yeah.
I don't mean as in sort of
detail, but it's still
it's got the style. It's got the same style, but it's just not as good, and that's not a criticism because it is still very good art.
Yeah, I like his style. I like his universe art is cool. His universe art is I love the Batman, the stocky looking, high shouldered Batman. I know. Yeah. I know. Ty just had to let us know about how they can't use their neck, but I love this one.
Yeah, folks, check out our special episode.
Yeah, on our bonus that you can check on our Patreon for $1, I believe. Where we go over the Dark Knight trilogy and our qualms and our likes about it. But back to Harley. Do you have anything else?
The other style is just, it does keep it in the same style as White Knight. And
I don't mind it.
No, it's very good art, and it keeps it in the same style.
I see what you're saying, though. You're saying that it feels like it doesn't feel like the strongest of his work. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying it's copying Sean Murphy, and it would have been.
It's not.
It might not give the book its own identity.
Is Sean Murphy not heavy on the art on this one? Is he not doing this?
He's not the artist, no. It's Matteo Scalera.
I wouldn't say he's farming it out, but he's letting other people participate in his White Knight universe.
I like that. I like that stuff. Cool.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be a complaint by me because the art is incredible.
I see what you're saying. So this is a different artist than from the White Knight stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to mimic the universe. Yeah. Oh, I like. Okay. I think for not being their style, they did a good job. It looks like it. Like it. I love the bat. The bat looks awesome. Very cool.
Because I don't know what other art they've done to it. They might just have a very similar style naturally to Sean Murphy.
Scalera? You've never seen his other stuff?
I don't believe so, no.
Really? Oh my god. Oh, dude. Black Science.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
I have Black Science. I'm gonna start that very soon. I want to finish the
very
Black
good.
Widow.
That's Rick Remender, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm
It's
excited.
really depressing. It's very depressing, but the
Yeah,
art isn't.
dude, that's why I want to pick
Is
up.
it better than Scumbag?
Oh, you didn't
I
like
read
it? It didn't
like
make you laugh?
4 or 5 volumes of Black Science in like one night.
I might give it a go then.
Yeah, I want to check out Low as well. I believe that's a Remender, but I'm waiting for a bigger book.
Yep.
They're collected. Cool. Well, did you like the story? Do you like where it's going, Sean?
I do, but I feel like it didn't really live up to White Knight. It feels a bit generic with them setting up this murder mystery and then being like, it's Harley Quinn from White Knight.
But can
It's
I
the other
ask
Harley.
you, is Robin's one shot of death metal supposed to live up to the death metal main series? This kind of feels like it's a
one shot.
No, I know that, but I'm saying like in their series, the one shot. I'm saying like, you know how Montreal made that other Batman game, the Origins?
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is. Is it not? Is it not just like a side crew attacking the universe?
I just really enjoyed White Knight 1 and then Curse of White Knight, and I just feel this didn't live up to it as well. But that's not saying I didn't like it. I just feel like it didn't really give itself its own identity.
It reminds me of, I don't know if you guys read the Kick-Ass comics.
I have not.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Millar. So he did one series, Kick-Ass, he did Kick-Ass 2, and then before he did Kick-Ass 3, he did a Hit Girl series that kind of bridged the gap between 2 and 3. And that's kind of what this feels like. It's like we're bridging the gap up until we get to...
Do you think we're going to get Right, you think we're going to get something big? Like coming? Yeah, that'd be cool. That this is going to be...
feels,
yeah.
White Knight was just so sort of out there. It did some crazy stuff, and this just feels a little bit safe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at like the previews for next issue, it definitely looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
I'm definitely going to keep reading because I did enjoy it.
I don't know if it's a background or not, whatnot, but I mean, it looks like they're going to have multiple Harley Quinns.
I like her little fear of the abyss. You know, I like that stuff.
2 things. Craven, Dave.
Yeah.
You're both parents.
Yeesh.
This book, to me, really stood out because the person who wrote this is clearly a parent and understands what it's like to be a parent. Did you feel that way?
Well, I've never stabbed a toy.
Yeah, but I have stepped on one and did a mighty mean cursing. I think that when she got to the point where I think she was talking to Bruce, and then she says like, "Look at me, I'm the worst mom," because she mentioned that she whatever. I was like, "Oh, dude, anybody would be lying if they didn't feel like that." Sometimes you're just like, "Holy shit, this is like, yeah."
I like that.
I think that's why I dug it. I really like a little dig into Harley's life. I like this Harley. I like this one in the White Knight universe. So just to dig into her life a little bit is nice, and
She's definitely her own person and not just part of the Joker.
Yeah.
I'll say
White Knight unique.
I would say White Knight's interpretation of Harley is one of my favorites. It treats her character so well.
I think it brings her back. Which is cool. I never thought you'd be able to separate from here on. Like from here till infinity, it felt like Harley was always just going to be like Mr. J, like that's just who she'll be forever, But then
I didn't even mind that. It was when she sort of went off on her own and became sort of DC's version of Deadpool a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of still
where
what I'm talking about.
She just had these wacky side adventures with Poison
shit.
Ivy. That was when I sort of...
I just want her... I like this change that she's this intellectual who's come back from the abyss. I'm like, ooh, that's a whole other level of things to delve into. So I really liked it. I will continue
anybody
reading.
Else? I feel weird about the fact that she has a weird an intimate relationship with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You guys are such little brats. You guys hate all the relationships, and I'm like a sucker for them. I'm like,
I love his relationship with Catwoman. I just think it's weird. Weird choice to have Harley Quinn.
Yeah, you say I don't. You say we don't like relationships, but I've got the opposite point of view on something that happens later with a relationship in a comic. So we'll get to that later.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
I would just like to also point out, this book is written by Sean Murphy's wife.
Yeah, right. That's what. Okay, so she was writing it this time. Yeah, they kind of
And I
work on the
believe
White Knight
I believe she's a
universe.
romance novelist.
Ooh, that's probably where this is coming
Give me a
from.
second to verify that. Yeah, romance and
So
erotica.
we're not. Yeah, we're not gonna rate them anymore because we're still evolving the show as we go. So what we're gonna do this week, we're gonna say, are we going to continue reading it? That's all we need to know.
Okay.
Not are. Well, are you gonna stick
Wait,
with it?
I thought we were still rating, just not doing the stars on screen.
Well, we can. That's up to you. I like the better. If I'm gonna
I've
keep
already made
reading
my
it,
rating.
that's good enough for me. Like if I'm gonna keep reading, that's like because then you know what you gain out of that. All right, so check this. People who start watching this show, they're gonna start gaining. Like some people are gonna really like hate me and like you. They're gonna be like that guy. His choice and shit sucks. So when I say I'm gonna keep reading it, they'll probably be like, I won't do anything he's gonna do. And then so my point is
But
more and
here's
more.
the thing: I'm going to keep reading Flash, but I'm not enjoying it at the minute. I gave last issue a 1.5.
Well, you'll have to make that clear. You'll have to make that clear to your fan base.
That's a little bit different because you are a fan of the Flash, are you not?
Yeah, see?
True.
And they're going to get to know you. So I think we should do it based on, are we going to keep reading it? Because that's like a thumbs up, thumbs down. Like that's like his base. That's base. Base form. What do we say? How does the court feel?
I like doing the Rotten Tomato style, like give your rating, but also say yes or no. Like you're gonna keep.
So we're gonna do both then.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
Stream it or skip it.
So, go ahead. Well, Tabs, you read this too, right?
Yes, I did.
How did you feel about it?
I liked it. It was very straightforward, easy to pick up. Liked Harley, being older, but going back to the less sexual Harley that she has been in a lot of things, and more of the smart Harley trying to pick her life back together and realizing that.
Have you read any of the White Knight stuff before this?
I have not.
Do you know what's going on with Harley and what the situation with her is about?
Joker's dead and she's raising her 2 kids.
Yeah, but
I'm just
going to mention that in the first White Knight series, we find out that Harley actually left the Joker at one point, and another Harley took her place.
Okay.
You saw the Neo
this
Joker
one is,
reference?
Yeah, Neo Joker is the new Harley, but sort of the more zany one who... She's more like the current DC Universe one, where she's a bit more wild and crazy. And yet this is... The one we see here is the older sort of Mr. J one, who ended up leading
so more
the
like the adventures of Batman kind of Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see that, and I appreciate it because in a way it's like a breath of fresh air for the Harleys that have been brought forward. And again, I'm not a huge DC person, especially the last couple of years, so I'm just kind of seeing, the cover art and her in her hot pants running around and everything, and I like it to a point, but I'm kind of tired of it. Like, who was it? Crave saying it was kind of like the Deadpool of the DC universe, or was that Ty?
That was me that said that.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I agree with it.
Yeah, no, it's just a little too much. That's pretty much what it is. Sexy Harley has a place for sure, but it's been too much. I'm kind of tired of it. I either want to see a new Harley or this classic Harley, and I really like it. Although, give us Cedric's Harley back, please. Give us Arlene.
Harleen Fulton.
Bring back Harleen.
Did you like the love interest with Bruce Wayne?
I did. I thought it was interesting.
Like a love interest kind of thing.
Well, they almost just feel like they've been through hell together now. You know what I mean? Like
they're more like siblings, like people that got each other's back.
Yep, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the few characters. I mean, Batman knows who a lot of his villains are, but I don't think he knows who they are on such an intimate level as Harley. Seeing her going from Arkham psychologist to actual villain, and her never really hiding her identity, or doing a disguise like Clayface or somebody. It's just this normal person that's been sucked up into this vacuum of craziness and can't get out. So I think that's where she is kind of unique compared to some of the other villains in the Rogues Gallery, but that's just my opinion on her.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
All
Because
right,
whereas
everybody, give it your go. What's your? I'm reading it. I'm going on. I'm giving it a.
Yeah, me too.
I'll give it a. I did like it, and I like you bring up the motherhood shit and like being a family. Yep, that's probably why I'm giving it. I'll give it a 4. It was good.
Well,
I liked it. I'm gonna keep reading it.
I feel like there's a lot more going on with it than that, and I'm actually surprised by Sean's criticisms of it because, well, I mean, I can respect that you haven't seen Matteo Scalera's stuff before, so I respect that. But as far as the kind of
it wasn't a
independence
criticism
of this-
about the art. I still really like the art.
Cool.
It was that you thought it was going to stand alone. It wasn't going to be. You felt like it's piggybacking off of the universe too hard or something.
Yeah, I felt like it was sort of. I haven't seen his art before, so I didn't know if that was his natural style or he was sort of copying it to mimic Sean Murphy.
Actually, if anything, I feel like he's toned down his style just a scotch. Just his style is very Italian, extremely Italian. Very long noses, lots of points, curls here and there. It's very, very pronounced, but it is very noticeably his style, and the watercolors really enhance it.
That glow that chandeliers have on page 2.
Page 2?
Page 2 of the comic with chandeliers. They have that sort of glow to them.
Yeah.
There, hang on. Oh, yeah. You know what? Yes, absolutely. I will say this, in this sequence, actually, I am a little weirded out by the fact that they made her a go-go dancer. That was a little weird to me.
Was a little,
that's my
only
I thought the joke was kind of weird. You know, why the characters like rocks. You skip that one. I don't know. Like, it's supposed to be a dig at Harley, but she's, by no means flat.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
not,
did laugh at that line.
Or anything like that, but she's definitely not flat. That seemed kind of weird.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I really like the watercolor of the artwork.
Yeah.
I really recommend checking out some of the covers.
Was this Black Science covers?
Well, no, he does the interiors too. He also did Space Bandits. He's just a really good artist. I've met him before, and he's really nice.
Cool.
I might check out.
I'll send it in the chat.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm just looking at them now.
What does everybody want to give it? And we'll move on to the next
finish
one.
ratings.
Right. I'm going to stick with the 4 or 5 that you did too.
4, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep reading it. I'll keep, I think until something changes, I think I'm going to keep getting the, Sean Murphy White Knight stuff.
Yeah. I'm super big into his universe. I hope that more, I hope he's allowed to not like sell, but like give pieces, like maybe like a Killer Croc, side, you know what I mean? Like all these different.
Yeah,
let his
as
universe
far as I'm aware,
grow.
he has full creative control over this. At the minute.
Like let it grow.
He can choose.
Let the
he
Penguin,
can choose for creative.
Harvey Dent, all this stuff. Just let it all just happen and let.
Yeah,
I think it would be cool.
Oh, I remember the question I had was when they're torturing the Robin towards the end of the book. Is that supposed to be Dick Grayson?
Jason Todd.
No, that was to Jason Todd.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's in the White Knight. That's in the first White Knight, I believe. All that shit.
Yeah,
with the flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah, and he does.
Okay.
It is carried on in Curse of the White Knight as well.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember that part.
I do because the colors were really good. They were really vivid. But go ahead, Sean.
I gave it a 3.5 because I did still really like it, and I'm interested to see where it goes. But I did feel the first issue was just a little too safe, but hopefully it goes crazy later on. We'll see.
I think that's a fair criticism. I respect that.
Okay, Tabs, what did you give it out of 5?
I give it a 4 out of 5. I liked it.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep up with it.
Yeah,
it's fresh for me. It was easy to just pick up and through the course of the story figure out what was going on, the relationships and everything. So it was enjoyable for me. So a little bit of a classic detective story in a way.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, like, hey, come back into this crazy world. No, I got kids, but at the same time, I know something really bad is going to happen if I don't.
Yep.
Harley's playing the detective. Yeah, pretty cool.
And Ty, what did you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. It makes me want to keep reading it. I'm enjoying it.
I'm the pessimist here, giving it a 3.5.
Yes, you are, my friend.
Overly critical.
It's been raining here. I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, that's the reason.
Take that
why.
into
Yeah.
It
account.
never rains in England.
Yeah.
Jolly old England.
I would just say tabs. The previous White Knight stuff is really good and really strong if you ever want to pick it up. It's completely standalone to the main universe.
Very fun.
It's
Very
great.
fun.
Yeah.
Well, White
goes
Knight
to-
is it's Otherworld, right? Technically
Yeah, it's one of the-
speaking.
Black Label Elseworlds.
Elseworlds. I'm sorry.
It's a Black Label.
Yeah, so I think currently there's 12 issues. There's like, right?
Yeah,
the
there's
first one's
6.
6 and the second one's 6.
I think the second one was 8 actually.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
8, and
8.
then it's
It's
not
you're
the
gonna
universe. The
pretty
universe
penny.
is. I would say it's just begun. So it'd be a good time to
Yeah.
go back and read that stuff.
Like I said, it's got a really good take of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, and if you
it sort
like
of does
the
some
art,
interesting stuff with all the characters.
if you like the art too, it has a nice just art to it.
I suggest getting the trade paperbacks because I think you're going to pay a pretty penny to get the single issues.
Definitely.
I am back diving for too many things right now that are eating into my wallet, and I need to stop.
All right.
That's where most of my collection is right now. Is back bin diving.
I hear you.
Oh, there we go. All right, Stillwater number 2.
Oh, they aren't too expensive to be fair. White Knight #1 first printing is only $10.
I picked up the Von Doom, both the variant and the main. That was a really good story too. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
Or sorry, Von. What do I say? What did I say? Von Doom loves Victor
Von Doom.
Freeze. Yeah,
Von Freeze.
Yeah. Fucking A. But all right, moving on.
Audience at home, if you haven't read any of the White Knight stuff, I highly recommend you do.
Stillwater number 2. Hit us with it, John.
Yeah, so Stillwater #2, written by Chip Zdarsky and art by Ramon K. Perez.
Ramon.
Is anybody into giving the background of this one? The quick overview.
Do you want to cover the first issue or just this issue?
Well, we could say the first issue left us with a friend dead and a man reunited with his mother, right? In a weird ghost story.
Yeah, you can briefly go over like the premise as well, like they're back in a town, sort of.
Yeah.
Is anyone going to take us away?
I'm thinking.
Sure.
I'm thinking of how I can do 4. If you got it, Crave, go for it. Because
Yeah,
otherwise,
the first couple of pages, we've got a very short, blast from the past kind of thing. Words are failing me now that I've taken the reins. Anyway, back to the present day, we have what's his name? David? Anyway, we're meeting the judge. He's going to find out his fate. We're going to find a little bit more out about the town and about the people. We see a face-off between Officer Ted and the woman that claims to be his mother. And just, if you want to shut somebody up, just shoot them in the head. They'll come back in a couple of hours. Put them in the drug tank. So the judge doesn't give his verdict just yet, but he gives a little bit more information about the town. We go back, we sit in the jail cell, and then, after a little while, it's time to meet the rest of the town. The whole town meets at the center of town, and the verdict that is rendered is that Laura, his mother, is basically sentenced to lie in a pit of dirt, almost look like a grave, for 2 weeks.
that's nutty.
We
So
get a little bit of background of her passing Steven, right?
yeah, I think it is the main character. You're saying?
Isn't he called Tommy?
I
Or
thought. Yeah, maybe.
Daniel. My bad.
Daniel. Oh, okay.
Daniel, as we know him. And they say, now you're kind of an outsider, but you were from here, and now you're part of the clan. group, whatever. You're part of our collective, and you're the third person that we've ever allowed this to happen. The end. Yeah, we find out that, he's the guy from the first couple of pages that was a kid that, a very small 2 or 3-year-old that could talk like an adult.
Anybody else kind of get the idea that, like, there's some insinuation that they have the ability to do more than just... Because it seems like this town has, obviously, the limits on, like, life and death, but the implication from the main character's mother is that death does have some level of permanence that they know about when she says to the sheriff, "I'll kill the judge if he kills my son."
Yeah, I mean, you just have to go out beyond the bounds. I think anybody
that makes sense,
within bounds is fine. I don't think it has anything to do with, the genetic makeup of the people in town.
Sure.
Yeah, it's to do with the boundaries of the town.
My question is, what kind of, like, life death does this look like? Is this a Wolverine scenario, like where everyone in town has instant healing abilities, or is it just that you can't die? That's my question. And it seems like it's leaning more towards the Wolverine thing, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Gallon got up and walked away the other day, the first issue, and this guy recovered from getting his brains blown out.
He got shot in the throat, though, and when he's in the cell, he's still just sort of bleeding out his throat and choking and can't talk.
Yeah,
or was it his cheek he got shot in?
Yeah, something like that.
But as well, they also don't age in the town.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, when we have 1990 flashback, Galen is the boy
at the fridge,
getting stuff out of the fridge.
Yeah, he hasn't aged at all.
Yeah, then we see him in current day, and he's still just a child.
Yeah, I really wonder how long Daniel was, stuck as a child.
Right.
Movie. There's a Tuck Everlasting. That's what this makes me think of.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some sort of fountain of youth.
I thought that...
It's like it's more boundary limited, but yeah.
So right now we got a corrupt judge who, whatever, he's like calling it patriotism probably, but I would call it corrupt. We got a corrupt we got a judge, we got kids on the rooftop playing games, and a sheriff who doesn't know what kind of games they're, getting at, with this. And then you have a mom.
So they've got to leave the town at certain intervals to grab stuff.
I would think.
I mean, they've got Coke written on the side of one of the buildings. They've got computers, but they're not, modern day computers.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about this one, I guess. I was expecting this to be a little bit more of a powerful, because the number 1 is supposed to hook you in, right? And I feel like a number 2 is to be like, you really want to read this? Okay, bam. This
kind of gives a little more background.
Well, I think the end. I think the end kind of. I was like, oh shit! Like she's about to get buried for 2 weeks. I'm like, that's nuts. That's a crazy sentence.
I was kind of thrown off there. I'm like, well, they can't kill somebody. Why would they have a grave?
And they're just gonna let her suffer, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even expect that they were gonna throw her in there as punishment. I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Up until the next page, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
I like the artwork for filling in the hole was really good too. The dirt.
That last page is really cool, where it just has "Welcome to Stillwater," and you just see the little cracks of sunshine still coming through the grave.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh,
yeah, the artwork in this is great.
Yeah, it's really good. It's top notch for the style it's going for.
Dave was the Sheriff Dave, and then we see that little shot of her handing Tommy Daniel over, and that guy has got it looks like he's got the sheriff badge on his shirt, so that must have been Sheriff Dave.
Wait, which one's got the sheriff badge? Sorry.
Second and third to last page, the guy walking off into the woods, you can half see a sheriff badge.
Right.
On a star.
Yeah. I guess he was the original sheriff, and then he's got sort of red hair. So do we think the current sheriff with the red hair is his wife or daughter potentially?
Maybe.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
I think they bring up the lawyer too in some weird way. They mention that these old lawyers or anything coming around. They talk about it.
There's a lot to dissect here.
Yeah, there is.
Remember, wasn't there supposed to be a lawyer that he was coming to meet? And then the lawyer, they're like, that guy hasn't been around for 25 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
I felt like it did sort of open more questions and didn't, I don't know.
It's an 8,
I felt this
right?
was a step down from the first. Do we have an
8?
issue count on this?
I think so. I think it's an 8. I liked it. Meaning
I enjoyed it.
By the end of it, I'm good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did think it was a step down from the first issue, but I'm still interested to see where it goes from here.
It did slow down a bit.
I'll keep reading it. 3.5. But I will give it.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.5 too.
No.
I gave it a 3.
Craven?
I don't know. I liked a lot of it. I'm gonna stick with a 4.
Really?
4? Okay.
I want to know more about some of the stuff in the background, like in the sheriff's office or where the police are, police station. They've got a flag up on the wall. I've been looking around for something about that, but I can't find anything yet. So I think there's a lot of great details that can be picked up, and we might not know more about it till later.
Where's this flag? Sorry, I'll have a look at it.
On page 7 and 8.
No, like the black flag.
Yeah, the black flag. 1 star, 4 stripes. I'm sure they chose a flag like that for some reason, but I haven't been able to find any kind of similar flag, unless it's the only flag with that 1 star and that many stripes is like the flag of Libya, but I don't think they're Libyans.
Plot twist, Libya.
Yeah, I like that they included a sort of map. It's always fun.
Well, the map that they had in the background seemed like it was old America, so I feel like this is going to be.
There are a lot more questions that there are questions that get answered in this issue, and there are more questions that get raised, and I like that.
Yeah.
As long as you're answering questions that have been asked in previous issues, I'm cool.
Okay, should we move on?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. What was next?
Scumbag #1, written by Rick Remender and art by Louis LaRossa.
Louis LaRossa.
All right, hell yeah. Let's see.
Someone take us away.
Yeah, this one was about introducing us to a man who is a sloppy POS. What's his name?
Ernie Ray Clementine.
Ernie Ray Clementine. They introduce so it starts off with him in a bar, and immediately he's getting the dirty looks from everybody. He owes money to people. Everybody knows what this guy is doing. He's got no money, but he finds a way to. He scores some dope? Oh yeah, okay, I can give this real quick. He ends up scoring some dope, and he's going to. Oh man, this is such. Dude, I know. I don't. This was actually. It's pretty well done for how fucking graphic it is. So this. I know people like this, man. I know people like this. They go to the bar every night. They dress up in in their biker gear. They put the patches on and all this shit, and they don't brush their teeth or ever shower for weeks on end. Wear bandana. Dude, it's weird, but this guy exists. I've seen him all the time.
No, I totally know it. No,
and
I recognize.
Except for blowing out the ass, that was crazy. So he ends up he's got the shits. His stomach is all wrapped up because of the dope and the constipation, the lack of whatever. He ends up, oh my god, he's on the street corner. He shits his pants, but he's blowing. Oh, it's fucking nuts. He tries to shoot up his dope, but his needle goes down the hill. It's like going down a California incline. You know what I mean? He's never gonna get it. And he ends up making its way over to a group of 2 people fighting. and they're talking all this shit. Like I guess they're part of some kind of gangs or something, and someone has his name's like Father Time. He has like powers apparently in some way. Anyway, the needle ends up making its way over to them, and this guy's tripping balls. He picks up the wrong needle, which is a needle that they dropped, which is like a superpower needle or some shit. He ends up shooting it up, and which is kind of funny because Father Time ends up picking up the meth needle and shooting it into himself, which is kind of funny because you're like, fuck, dude, that's fucked up. So, Father Time they both end up dying, which is kind of cool. Like they both shoot the two assassins or whatever, and this dude is just he's left with a whole like he's been given like some kind of access to a secret neural network where this lady's like, oh shit, you have to be our hero and shit, and they're like, I forget, it ends on something. Oh yeah, it's pretty much the greatest gift has been given to the worst person. So we're gonna see if Ernie can figure out how to I don't know if Ernie can figure it out and become a superhero or not. Right now, I don't think he could. But the way this comic book is working is it's going to be drawn by a different person each time. So I think the art fit the story really well, but I don't know if I like the art. That's just like I think it fits like his nasty ass. Like...
That's interesting because I thought the art suited the story really well, but I just didn't like the story.
Oh yeah, there you go. Exactly. Well, it fits the story really well. I just didn't like. Yeah. I don't think I'd pick that art for the whole thing. I think it's kind of funny though. I think Rick Remender's pretty nasty to be able to have written this because this is I know people just like this. I met him at the bars, man. People I worked with, they end up like these people. It's crazy, man. Yeah, wearing like they got like lace up combat boots. They're not wearing a fucking shirt. Smoking a cigarette. The bar says no fucking smoking. Still smoking a cigarette inside. Just like funny. So he did a good job depicting like straight trash. So it was really well done with that.
Well, the thing is like Rick Remender is he grew up in the punk scene in the 1980s in California, so he definitely has seen some crazy shit, and he's mentioned that before. This I think I kind of dig from that, and as a person who really is into characters like this, and as a person who is really big into that kind of origin, I really like that. I wouldn't say this is perfect. I'm probably going to read number 2 because I want to see where this goes, but I love a fucked up piece of shit character. I wish I didn't, but I do. I also have known people like this that I'm real. Just like,
they exist.
They really are, dude. I had an ex-roommate who was a big heroin and meth junkie at the same time. Dude, the stuff that would go down in the apartment, it was insane. I'm really happy I got out of that.
Not safe,
No, not at all.
Yeah, I really didn't like this issue.
I just want to see, at least in number 2, the art. I want to see the art change. That's like one thing I'm picking up number 2 for. But I
just didn't find the story engaging. I didn't find it funny either. But it's supposed to be funny, and like I just find the whole thing of him being part of now this like weird like neural network police force type thing agency. I'm not.
Seems like it should have been a one shot. Like maybe like a 40-page one shot. They could have gotten the power. He could have like gone up to fight the monster and just died right away because he's fucked up. And that was like the end of it. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up number 2, but I won't lie. Like I'm still giving it like a 2.5.
I'm just saying, Sean, this part right here. You're telling me that this isn't the part that got you?
Oh man, dude, I busted out laughing, dude.
I think I did that kind of laugh where you blow more air out your nose, and that's it.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's how I was.
I really didn't enjoy this. I gave it 1.5.
Jeez,
and it's my first Rick Remender book, and it was a bit of a letdown.
Well, I wouldn't let this represent all of Rick Remender.
No, I want to read Black Science. I want to read what is it? I want to read Low. There is stuff I want to read, but cool. Yeah. Just my first exposure.
Disagree, Dave. I think that this is very much like a lot of other Rick Remender stuff. I mean, the sequence in Deadly Class where the guy shits himself in the comic book store.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If that's how he's gonna go,
that wasn't necessarily the bit I disliked. It was just the whole thing.
Together. Oh no, there's a part in Deadly Class where one of the main character. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna say that shits himself in a comic book store.
And if it works in the story, don't hate it, but just here, right? It's just kind of
sometimes, honestly, he just makes his characters completely fucking trash, and I don't mind it, but it is something you have to get used to. I feel like, I mean, the reference to Bukowski was a really good reference. Does anybody here read Bukowski?
No.
So here's the thing. Bukowski is one of those guys that when he makes a character or when he writes his books, they're literal pieces of trash. I mean, women in itself is just this guy getting drunk all the time and trying to fuck all, like, just left and right. Really inappropriate comments about people who are at questionable ages, really inappropriate comments on women and like their body choices and stuff. It's just, the point is to have a character that's unlikable. It's kind of like how The Godfather doesn't have really like any good guys. It's kind of the same concept. That doesn't necessarily fit everyone's storytelling experience. I totally dig that. I fucking hate The Catcher in the Rye. But some people love The Catcher in the Rye and they think it's one of the best things ever. I think that the Bukowski references are really good for this.
Yeah, 2.5
so
for me.
What rating are you giving it?
Oh, God.
I didn't say anything.
No, did you want to rate
it?
What
was your rating?
All right, Ian, if you're gonna.
I'm gonna give it a 3. It kept me reading. I'm gonna read number 2 and see what happens. I don't think it's perfect, but I'm definitely interested to see what happens.
I'm gonna read number 2, and then I'll see from there.
Cool.
Let's see.
On for sheet 2.
Was Excalibur first, right? Excalibur.
I think so. Give me just a second.
Let's see. Dude, what a fucking drag of a...
X of Swords, Part 9, Excalibur number 13, written by Teenie Howard and art by R.B. Silver.
God, Silver though, man. What an artist.
Yeah, the art looks like anime, dude.
Yeah.
Looked like some kind of
The art
like
was
anime.
the best part of this issue.
I thought it ended really well, but I thought it was pretty long to get to that ending, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of a boring issue.
So I'll sum it up in 3 sentences.
Okay.
4 sentences. Possibly 5. So you pretty much just have the Captain Britons, right? Their core, they're going to, you can't sum this up in 5. You got beef within Captain Britons. One wants to be a Captain Britain again, the other doesn't. There's the secret sword. You got Saturnine.
Yeah, it's family drama with the Braddocks.
Yeah, being a biatch. But pretty much what ends up happening is they go on their little adventure for... Well, I forget why their adventure was. They weren't going for a sword. They already had the sword, was it? Or were they still going for the sword? And they found it when they tricked them.
Sword, but she doesn't want it.
Yeah. So they end up... How did they end up getting that cool sword at the end? What was his name? Avalon, too? Captain Avalon?
Avalon's the kingdom, and...
Yeah, Avalon was the kingdom, yeah.
Yeah, and the Braddocks are sort of like the kings of that kingdom, I think.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is...
It was a very exposition-y heavy issue, and...
I don't know if this was meant to... I've read a couple comics where somewhere in England, I think it's like... Is Stonehenge in England?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I think it's Stonehenge. There's an access point in Marvel Comics to the other world, which I believe is where these people are from and shit, right? Like this like other world or some shit.
Yeah.
And like Avalon is a place there and all this shit. I'm pretty sure that's where all this is. So like I think
I got that much. I just found the rest. It was very exposition heavy and kind of boring, and
was boring.
Her brother was kind of crazy, and
the ending was cool though. Like they got their swords. He got to be like a baller. He got the baller sword. You know, that was cool.
Yeah. They ended up stealing the sword from Assassinine, though, I'll point out.
Yeah, they tricked her.
She created a special sword for... Yeah.
So, it was cool. It was nice. Art was nice.
Yeah, the art was really good.
I give it a 3. It's boring. But the ending was nice. I like the ending. Like it...
What did I give? I gave it a 2.5.
Yeah. What about you, Tabs? Yeah. You were reading X of Swords. What do you think about the anime issue?
I read this very legally. I very, very legally read this little bit of an issue and then stopped legally.
Was it that? It bored you that much? It is.
Look,
boring.
There's so much about the art that I'm in love with, and Teenie Howard actually is a good writer. I wasn't captivated by it, and honestly,
I don't think I'm too interested in the Captain Britain core. To be honest with you, like I don't really.
but I still, the art was really fucking good.
I also, I don't know. I'm frustrated because like if I could, I would give all my money to RB Silva, and that's a big reason why I wanted to pick this up. But I decided that if I was going to get any of the tie-in issues, I wanted to get a little bit of a flavor before I picked it up in person.
Yeah.
So when I went to pick it out,
yeah, probably yeah.
You picked the worst issue to sample. Tabs, what did you think?
Unfortunately for me,
it just felt like a filler issue kind of for the whole arc in general, and give you an idea what's going on. But however, upon reading it, and I mentioned it in the chat before, realizing that at some point in the whole X-Men storyline, they have separated Psylocke and Betty again, like physically, mentally, to that regard. So I appreciated it in that aspect on why Psylocke was with the Hellions and just being super moody.
Because I was confused there as well.
Yeah, so other than that, yeah, I agree. It's kind of a weird family drama and the Britain corpse and everything, but I've never read Excalibur and I've never followed this, so
no.
Yeah, it was something new. It was interesting. But was I super excited for it? Not really. Just following the arc along. I can appreciate it.
We got 2 more swordsmiths or whatever, That's cool or whatever. We got 2 more people on the ring, right? We got 2 out of that one. Correct?
Yeah, there's 4 more, I believe. So probably the next issue or 2, I would imagine, is going to complete the ring.
Yeah, well, we got 1 in X-Men as well, and then so there's 3 more remaining.
Okay, I'm gonna move over to X-Men then.
Yeah, the Scarab Sword from Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So Exosword's 10, X-Men 13, written by Jonathan Hickman and art by Mahmoud Asrar.
This one is cutting back to Apocalypse, still trying to be revived. I just love him right here because he's just like, where's the one party? He's like the healer that he fucked up last time he tried to like help him. So pretty much Apocalypse is they're still trying to heal him because the regeneration eggs aren't ready yet. So like there's a point to where like the healer's like, you might as well just kill him, it might not work. And he's like, what does he say? He's like, what are his odds? And he's like, better than yours, because he fucked him up in the last like issue or whatever. So that was cool. So pretty much he wanted to get healed. So as he's getting healed, I think he snaps back into like some rewind, some lore getting told.
He has a flashback to Araco and his horsemen and his wife or partner.
Looks like it. And it looks like, I forget what this mask does, but it says it in here at some point that the mask like one of these,
the golden helm of Anmeth.
Yeah. It's actually a god taking over your body, which was kind of cool. It's like a deity takes over your body. Which is pretty neat. But so it pretty much runs through, I guess some kind of deal had to be brokered, and for some reason Apocalypse, he says he wants to, I just couldn't figure this part out, but he's like, I want to go with you, and he's like, you can't, you're not strong enough. So he ends up not staying in Otherworld. All this, I don't think I figured out why he was I don't know why he's weak, but when he wakes up from getting healed, he ends up going to get his sword. So he goes to the pyramids, which is really cool because he points out, he's like, the pyramids. He's like, the Temple of the Horsemen. He says something like, it sickens me. Oh, it angers me that the living, this is a monument to the living. And that was really cool because when you get there, you realize that there's the 4 horsemen like tombs or whatever, like sarcophaguses. And it's like, he originally had built it because he thought he was mourning his lost, people. Only to find out that they're still alive, and that's like, not what not what was to be intended. So it's interesting. Apocalypse has a cool story arc going on here, but he ends up getting a scarab blade. Yeah, he gets a sword, which is cool. But they didn't show him walking onto the circle. Just wanted to point that out.
No, that kind of annoyed me that we didn't get to see him come on the circle.
We didn't, because I wanted to see Logan might have said something, some funny exchange could have happened.
I didn't really. I kind of find the whole backstory of Araco boring.
Me too.
With the other horsemen, all this stuff.
Me too.
Like, we had a lot of time spent to it in the creation issue, and we've had a few flashbacks here and there through X-Men, and it just doesn't interest me. I find it so boring.
I feel the same.
Yeah,
I feel like there's been a lot of buildup for it, and I don't mind that there's been so much buildup with issues like 8 through 12. There's been a lot of conversation between the creator and the history of Morocco versus Krakoa. And I don't mind it. I feel like Jonathan Hickman does a really good job of building backstory. I'm more interested to seeing what's going to happen with the Golden Map, which I really liked that sequence. I feel like this is one of those stronger examples of him telling backstory, which I like. But when you have a 22-part story that a lot of other people are a part of, it's hard to, you have to do something that's going to be really powerful in order to keep people captivated. And just having an action sequence is not going to be enough. To me, this is not fumbling, but I definitely feel like the strength isn't really there. I feel like it was lacking something. I can't figure out what.
Yeah. I feel like part of my complaint is it's just all being told through flashback.
Right.
And I don't know.
No, I agree. I think that flashback is very rarely done well.
And I just find that when it does flashback, it is just boring, exposition-y. It's not an exposition dump, but it is heavy in exposition. I just find it boring. And
yeah, the most interesting part of the issue was the now. Him getting healed, him going to get his blade. That was the most for me. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's bring it, buddy. You know?
Well, I am interested, like I said, to see what's gonna. It seems like he has a relationship with that woman whose name escapes me at this moment, and that's interesting to see. But I kind of, if it was me, I feel like what I would want to see or like have written is more. What is this building towards? Is this going to lead to a fight, or is this going to be something that's ingrained in the X-Men's lore from now on? That's what I want to know. I want to know if this is going to be a one and done thing. That's what I'm interested in seeing this come out of this. When it comes to tie-in issues, there's always just like new big bad, punch the big bad, and then dip out. And that's the oversimplification of it. I apologize, but I don't want that to be the case with this. I want this to be something that's Jonathan Hickman's strength, which is telling weird stories with weird history and creating whole new timelines and universes, which is the weirdness of X-Men comics. I liked Mahmoud Asrar as well, so I think that was a benefit for me for this issue.
I gave it a 2.5.
Gave it a 3.5. But but now that I think about it, I didn't like the build either. I didn't like the build, like the backstory building. I'll give it a 3. I give it a 3. I'm gonna really give it like a 3 as well. I like Apocalypse stuff.
A 3. And Tabs, you read this as well. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3. Middle of the road.
Yeah.
Just again, I haven't been following for a long time, being out of collecting for years and missing out on a lot of arcs in terms of X-Men, but coming in and getting background on Apocalypse and what's happening. You know, even if the issues don't stand out in any particularly strong fashion, it's nice to be able to pick up an issue and get a good amount of background, even if it's not the most exciting. So coming back into it and being able to follow what Hickman's setting up and doing with the world as far as the mutants and everything is really nice.
So did we score the last issue as well?
What, Scumbag?
Can you guys just run through your scores of last issue as well, the Excalibur one?
Yeah, 3.
I think I gave it a 3.
Yeah, middle of the road again, you know.
Okay, and this issue was
a
3 from all of you.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I just like getting the background. Again, like honestly, the last time I've picked up X-Men comics was X-23 was on the X-Force, Necrosha had just ended, and I think Fear itself was picking up, and that's about when I started. So was
that around 2012 sort of time, Fear itself?
Yeah. So I've been out of it for a long time. So it's nice that there's a lot of depth, it seems like, for longtime X-Men fans, but at the same time, coming back into it, I can pick it up and understand that, you know, the resurrection and everything, that the mutants are coming back. It's kind of resetting Necrosha in a way. I guess I could be very wrong on that, but it just seems that the mutants are coming back. They have their own place and fitting back into the world, but there's definitely more hard lines drawn, especially with the council and Magneto being Magneto, but actually working with mutants this time.
Yeah, right. Actually, yeah. Yeah, working with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and instead of trying to divide the factions,
Right.
like in the past, that they are working together, that, some things have happened to bring them together where he recognizes they need to come together. They can't have this line in the sand within mutant kind. So I appreciate what's going on in this. Again, not the most exciting at times, but coming back into it after years and years. It's easy to pick up and follow after like an issue or two. You don't have to read like 10 issues to figure out what's going on.
See. Sorry.
So I think it's definitely been the weakest week for Exosword so far.
I would say
thus far. And we're gonna get into the action soon, no doubt. This is all just set up stuff, and then
very close, very close.
And then who knows what's gonna happen after the arc too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'd still say the strongest week so far has been the Wolverine and X-Force issue, I felt.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Where Wolverine went to hell.
I think the that creation issue was really good too.
Yeah, that was still strong. But that Wolverine issue was just amazing to me.
What do we got? We're working on Batman, right?
Batman next, yeah.
Okay, Batman.
Yeah, so Batman 101, written by James Tynion IV and art by Gilliam March.
The Grifter. I have the Grifter. I have one. Yeah, I have 1 through 10 of the Grifter, and I hope the prices skyrocket now for him because he made his way over to Batman.
People will think he's a James Tynion creation, so this issue will sell out.
Yeah, this issue will be worth more as one than the whole 10 issue run of the Grifter. That's fucked up.
So this issue is dealing with Bruce having to. He's dealing with the loss of his company to Lucius Fox, and also losing his money, and it sort of builds up. Tim Fox coming back, and also brings new challenges to Batman and Catwoman's relationship.
Yeah, I think it just it resets Batman on the ground level, which is cool.
Yeah, this issue really took him back to basics because he now no longer has a company or money. Batman is officially broke, or billionaire broke, so he's still probably wealthier than most.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got a house in the city now, and him and Catwoman they're still together, but they have separated.
Do you think that the Grifter will make an appearance again? It kind of seems like the Batman and him have something to talk about.
I think he's supposed to be popping up throughout this arc.
Okay, cool, because it looks like
He definitely will.
He kind of looks a little salty about him being there. So
I liked this. I don't like Guillaume March, but I did like this issue a lot.
Yeah, I don't like his artwork, but this issue was good, except for my criticism of the ending.
You know what I noticed when I was looking at this? Guillaume March drawing white people is kind of mediocre, but when he draws people of color, it's a lot better. It's really weird. Like when you were looking at Lucius Fox's son, Christine looked great. Like I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, Batman looks about 60 under the cowl.
He looks very old. He has a lot of details that he puts into it. Don't get me wrong. He's a talented artist, obviously. He has a lot of the bells and whistles for it. It's not my style. It's not my thing.
Yeah, he also has a tendency of drawing women very provocatively. In what's it called? Where the whole outfit is just skin tight.
He is the artist who drew the famous issue of Catwoman from New 52, where both Catwoman and Batman were getting it on. Getting
it on. Woo boy.
Getting it on.
So I liked it. I'm gonna keep reading.
I still really enjoyed most of what I did. It's just I didn't like how DC have broken up Batman and Catwoman now, even though they haven't officially labeled it as them breaking up. she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you time to sort out your company and get it all sorted, and I'll come back in a year."
It reminds me of like the old guard, kind of like where it's like, come back in 100 years and I'll be, we'll meet again. Like that was kind of cool.
I will say this: I like that Tynion is recognizing that Batman isn't, having the same thing over and over again is a little boring. I like that he's going to try to switch things up. I want to see what happens. I'm very excited about that.
He's a great writer, and I think he's going to do what he can. The editorial let him, because he said in his newsletter or an interview or something, he said he wants to change Batman for the modern age, and the character needs to evolve. And I think he's going to do his best to do that with whatever editorial let him do.
Yeah, and I appreciate what he's written so far. I will be the first to admit that I'm wrong about an initial judgment about somebody, and my initial judgment about him was very wrong when I first read some of his early stuff. I'm very, very, very happy about
Is this like his New 52 stuff you read, like Talon and stuff like that? Yeah.
Talon I was not interested in, and I was not a fan of. I'm going to say that maybe that was editorial. Who knows? But I just wasn't a fan.
Yeah, and I think it was like his first big thing. He's grown.
He really has. He really, really has. I mean, even with his one-shot issues with Justice League, I've been a fan of.
They've been better than the main issues some of the time.
Some of the time, yeah.
I give it a 3.5. Well, I give it a 4. I give it a 4. I like it. I like
it. Yeah, I gave it a 4.
Yeah,
4's all across the board.
Gonna keep reading it.
I'm interested to see where it goes, and I'm excited to see Batman sort of being a more working class hero.
Yeah, me too. That's what I hate. It's probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm so sick of like a 14-man Bat family. I'm cool with like.
I love the Bat family.
Like, I don't know why I need a spoiler, a signal, a this and that. Like I'm cool with the Nightwing who grew up, a Robin who's mentally fucking handicapped because he got his ass beat, a young Robin, Tim, who's a genius, and then a Batgirl. I'm good. That's my crew. I would ride solid with that crew.
Batman means family, and family means nothing gets left behind.
Yeah, I don't know who the others are, but they're fucked. No, it's no, but
Batman
cool.
means family.
Yeah. What is it, Crave?
Waiting for the Fast and Furious family tie-in.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I like him going back to base Bat, which is nice.
I don't need billions of dollars. I got a family.
Let's see. Moving on to Catwoman 26.
Yeah, Catwoman 26, written by Ram V and art by Fernando Blanco.
So,
and this sort of follows on with this is why Catwoman is on her own and has moved back to Alleytown.
Catwoman runs Alleytown.
She's
getting no Mad Max references. Oh, you all disappoint me.
She's getting chased by what's his name? Father. He's like, call me Father.
Father Valley.
Yeah, Father Valley. Yeah. So pretty much it looks like this guy's going to be trying to take her down.
He kind of reminds me of, I can't remember the exact character's name, but the priest in Helsing, minus the supernatural powers. Nobody's seen Helsing? Okay,
no, I have not.
I see how this is going.
No, I have not seen Helsing.
Wait, yes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's kind of what his look reminds me of, although a little bit more like dirty and raw.
Yeah, I can't unsee it now that you've said it.
What is that character's name? But anyway.
I liked it. It's a good issue.
Yeah, I thought it was...
The whole thing is cool. Her like...
Alexander Anderson, that's it. That's the priest in Helsing I'm thinking of. He kind of reminds me of Anderson.
Okay.
Let's see.
Just at a very superficial level.
And Catwoman has a handicapped sister? I did not know that. No.
Is that her sister or is that a fence?
I believe that's her sister. Yeah, I believe that's her sister, because oddly enough, that 1989 Catwoman miniseries, I picked up and shared with you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Currently, that's a trade called, I think it's My Sister's Keeper, and that shows her kind of becoming Catwoman, but also her sister working as a nun and being very involved in the church.
Jesus
Anything
Christ.
else beyond that, though, I'm not really familiar with.
She was introduced earlier on in this run in Joelle Jones stuff.
Okay, so it's like a reboot.
I think she was already established to be in a wheelchair before this, but she hasn't really shown up a lot that I'm aware of.
Okay, because that's actually that 89 Catwoman mini was the first time I've ever seen Selena Kyle's sister ever.
Yeah, that might have even been when she was created, and she hasn't really shown up a lot since then that I'm aware of, because I remember reading about her at the time where the first issue of this run came out. And yeah. I thought this was a solid issue. I don't know if anyone saw, but Ram V did an AMA on Reddit the other day.
I did not.
Yes.
And he said Batman would be showing up in this run as well as other characters, but for the first arc at least, it's going to be just sort of setting her up on her own.
Nice. That's cool. That's good to know.
I like it.
Yep. Solid.
And I think the art really suits the city and stuff. Fernando Blanco does some good stuff.
Yeah, I like it. I think it looks good. I like her suit too. I think her suit's cool.
Yeah, it's slightly updated, slightly classic.
Yep.
I find the armpit windows a bit weird.
You gotta breathe, baby.
Thank you.
You gotta breathe, baby. You gotta breathe.
The armpit windows.
I was just gonna say the same thing. You gotta breathe.
You gotta breathe.
You gotta breathe.
You're lucky her coochie doesn't have one too, dude. You never know. You need like a little heat vent down there.
You gonna share a picture of this?
What the armpit?
Yeah.
Coochie window or armpit window?
Yeah, I'd have to do some artist rendering for the coochie window.
Please don't. It doesn't need it. If you want to see,
I'll just send a picture to the chat.
If you want to see Catwoman in full breathable gear, just go look at Jim Ballant and his charcoal artwork he sells, and it's literally just Catwoman with her hood, her gloves, and her boots. She wears nothing else because old Jim Ballant.
What's it called? Let me see. I think what do I look up? Jim
Ballant. I
kind of maybe like a sexy nun turned into Catwoman costume.
I mean, I kind of like it because it looks like if she takes off the upper part, it's just like an evening gown in a way.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's what they were going for, something that she could put on that's very dress-like and elegant with her femme fatale, but then the upper half is just Catwoman.
It kind of looks like an evening gown mixed with like a gimp costume.
I mean, she has been running around in leather for how many decades at this point?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard to compare. I'm really looking forward to Clayman's redesign. I'm a bigger fan of that than this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She makes that Ballant guy makes her boobies so big. She couldn't fight crime with big boobies like that.
Yeah, Jim Ballant is very classic in when he did his artwork driving apparently his the colorist nuts, because he would frequently draw her without her costume properly on, so they would have to go in and color it in. So there are through Ballant's run, which to my understanding was actually very popular because he's the one that opened up the cowl and let her hair out. So whenever you see the long-haired Selena Kyle with her hair out through the back, that's Jim Ballant style, especially the purple.
Yeah, I think Ballant was sort of the definitive run for the character.
Yes, he was definitely one of the very popular runs, but if you go through several of the pages, I'm not sure which one specifically, but you can see where the purples don't look right because they went in after the fact and added her clothing on, and she is extremely skin tight, and that's how he continues to draw her after the fact, like literally in just gloves and her boots and her cowl. Like there is nothing to her. For whatever reason, Jim likes the ladies like that, and she is very top heavy, very curvy.
He's a man of the people. He's a man of the people.
He's a
Well, he's the one that he does tarot, Witch of the Black Rose, and he does the same thing. And now he's like, I want to draw my women in thigh-high leather boots and gloves and nothing else, and that's what he does.
Yep, I'm looking at some of it right now, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I know. I mean, somebody who pays for this.
I mean, his art is very good. I will give him that, but he likes what he likes, and he draws what he likes now. And I am told until that 80th anniversary issue that came out a couple months ago, that he was low-key blackballed from DC for doing that because they kept saying more or less, Jim, stop drawing her naked.
Yes.
Because we have to color it in. Please stop.
Yes.
And he didn't.
Really quick, did anybody else notice on page 20 when she goes into the nest, they're watching, there's Furiosa on the screen.
From, I did notice that. Yeah, they're watching Mad Max.
I love it.
Yeah, the kids are watching Mad Max.
I'm kind of sad that Joel Jones hopped off. I don't know. What do you guys think about Ram V?
I like it so far. I read some of the Joel Jones stuff and didn't really like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only exposure I have is this Ram V story, and I'm digging it. I'm digging it. It's set up.
I've heard good stuff about his Justice League Dark as well. But he's currently doing.
Let's see.
I have to say, I love Joel Jones. There's so much about her that I love.
What did she move on?
Oh,
to?
I think I'm going to stop reading this. Who?
Your video for you're back now.
What did Joelle Jones move on to?
I don't know if she's on to anything else.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't seen her around anywhere.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
Let's move over to Something's Killing the Children.
We've got ratings and stuff.
Ratings.
Go ahead. Begin.
I gave it a 3.
Yeah, me too. Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
I'm gonna give it a 4. Nice. I'm enjoying reading Catwoman coming back up into the underworld and staking her claim. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that last time when issue 25 came out. You know, she's more or less putting the tack on the map and saying, "This is mine."
Yeah, that is cool.
Anti.
Hop off. I think this really didn't do anything for me. I'm gonna say that this was like a 2.5. I'm gonna hop off.
Okay.
After 2 issues, wow, the pain.
Oh no.
The pain.
Yeah, but Joel Jones stuff, I felt it just sort of sometimes you'll start an issue and it would just not be where the last issue left you off, and I'd sort of feel quite lost. I don't know. The artwork was good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I
didn't hate it. I just felt sometimes like I'd sort of jump back in and not know where I was. Like if I missed an issue, I'd sort of catch up on like 2 or 3 issues at a time. I sort of found it quite confusing jumping back in. I don't know. But yeah, her artwork is amazing. Joel Jones.
I still say that the Hispanic style from issue 25, the not quite black and white, but when she's dancing with the tiger, I mean that was absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah,
those pieces are definitely highlights of that issue.
Yeah, that was definitely
great
sweet.
artwork. Okay, Something is Killing the Children, issue 11, written by James Tynion IV and art by Werther Dell'Edera. So, Tabs, this was your first Something is Killing the Children issue. What did you think?
I really like it, and I am kicking myself for not jumping on it sooner, and not just from a looking for back issues monetary sense. Art's really good. I really like the horror aspect of it, but at the same time, just being able to pick it up and realize very quickly what was going on, and managing to get issue 10 because one of my shops still had some issue 10s, and just within an issue or 2, you know, even though I am missing a big part of the story, being able to follow it very quickly.
Yeah, I think it helped that issue 11 started with a flashback of the beginning of the series, with James sort of being surrounded by his dead friends.
Yeah, but I mean, even that, they were filling it in, so, he's in the woods, his friends are dead, the cops are there, obviously the town knows that something is very, very wrong, people are dying, especially the kids, and then going into it and realizing that people are aware of what is going on now.
Yeah, I still think some of the parents and stuff are still know something's out there, but the police sheriff is pretty much in on it now, and
easy pickup at this point, I feel, coming into it. So.
You other guys need to be reading this because it is so good.
It is very good. It reminds me a little bit of 30 Days a Night in some regard, where the art is very clean, like much later Ben Templesmith, but still a little bit sketchy, where it feels like you're in that surreal kind of nightmare, especially when people are seeing their kids getting
it's got
ripped apart in midair.
A little bit of a grotesque aspect to it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it kind of dulls it a little bit by being gritty and sketchy and not clean.
Definitely, yeah. And I think the colors work really well in this.
Yeah, let your mind kind of fill in those blanks. So I get a little bit 30 Days of Night in some of that aspect where you're filling in the gaps where it's lacking detail.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so
I mean, I'm definitely interested in checking it out at some point.
Sooner rather than later.
I would definitely say read it.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's surprisingly good. I'm kicking myself for not getting in on it sooner. For whatever reason, I would just look at it and be like, oh, okay, horror comic. Probably because when I go to some of the shops, a lot of the indies seem to be like murder mystery, horror, kind of. There just seems to be a saturation of it. However, I think that this one is standing out compared to the others, but different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, this was only supposed to be a 5-issue mini when they started it, because the first issue just completely sold out and went crazy. They expanded it.
Yeah, I feel like it's half because it is good and interesting, and the other half is the speculators are just ramrodding the snot out of this, unfortunately. And that's where I hate the that's where I hate the speculators.
Or they made this, like, they added more story to it.
Sorry?
Did they stretch the story that they originally planned out, or did they add more story on?
This is still very much the first story, but I feel like they've added some world building in there, because the main character, they've established she's part of like this family of like monster hunters kind of thing, and I feel like that wouldn't have been part of it in the original run, but it's sort of been expanded upon.
Is it a family, or is it just kind of this like secret society? Because it's
more of a society.
Okay, because I was going to say that's a really big family then.
Yes, sort of a society.
I cannot find a number one on eBay anywhere, and even the 6th print I'm seeing is going for $150.
I was so lucky for my number one then from Midtown. Holy cow! But that's what I told Sean when I was looking for them. I'm like, I know that these are outrageously priced. They have to crash at some point, I would think, but for whatever reason.
Yeah, I got mine literally a month after it came out, and I paid $20 for the first and second issue, first printings, and Once and Future issue 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the price it's gone for now, I wouldn't have been able to jump in now if I hadn't found that issue 1.
It's insane. Like, you have to get in at your shop. Even just like cover A's on eBay are going for $15, $20 US, and then you got like $8 shipping on top of it. It's just absolutely insane. But they are low print runs, for the most part. But from what one of my LCSs was saying, that Boom is very weird with their printing runs. Instead of printing to meet demand, they'll just say, hey, even though like last one we did like 5 or 6 printings, even though we might have sold like 80,000, 100,000, 150,000, we're still gonna just print like 30,000-40,000 for the next run, and then we'll just reprint another one. And it kind of drives my owner and that owner insane. He's like, just print to meet demand. Stop doing 6 print runs because people want it, but they can't find it.
Well, I think the problem with that is that when you do that, you actually devalue some of the collectability. And when people try to overprint, a big reason why that ended up being a failure was because you get things like Spawn #1. And while that's still a cool, fun comic for a #1, it ruins the value of it. If there's 200,000 printings of a #1, then the collectability goes out the window. And that was a big complaint with the comics industry at the time. Image has said specifically, when we do our print run, we have a limited print run. We're only going to do this. Occasionally, we're going to do the cover B, maybe a variant. I mean, only very recently did they have variants for some issues for Walking Dead. I think this is smart. And I think that being able to have that collectability makes it more desirable rather than just trying to provide. I mean, you're going to occasionally get the dollar issues and Marvel and DC and what have you, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, when there's obviously demand there and the secondary market is driving the price up to, be 5, 6, 7 times just your base cover issue, I think that just it shows a problem with the initial run, the desire. So
they can sell it so much more on eBay.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because as soon as it comes out, you go on eBay and you see that cover A for, $15, $20, and
yeah.
I asked one of my shops that does bring in the variants. I'm like, hey, do you have the 1 in 100 for this? Because that cover is really, really cool. The Department of Truth variant. And he's like, well, I did have it this afternoon, and he opened up at 12, and I showed up at around 5. So within that 4 to 5 hours he was open, he sold it. He had a 1 in 25, which is still a very cool and clean cover. Oh, I mean, he had a couple of those at that point. I don't know how many he ordered. I would have to assume at least 100 to have at least one of them, but he could have had 2. I don't know. He had a giant stack of them.
Have you seen what the price of an Ice Cream Man #1 has gone up to?
I don't even want to know, and I don't want to know anything about that series because I might like it.
It's very good. If you like this series, you would like that.
Yeah, that's why I'm staying away because they're up to issue 20 something now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we going to be checking out the his new series? Haha.
That's a one shot though, right?
I think it's a 5-issue mini or 4-issue mini.
I don't know. It seemed kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a go. Ice Cream Man #1 is going for about $400. $450 here. Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, though,
Geez, even issue 18 is going for $60.
I know we're kind of deviating from the topic at this point, but just really quick, like modern is so weird in terms of collectability and what's hot. If you're doing it from an investment standpoint, you have to grab it and know when to bail on it because they're going to crash. More than likely, the Peach Momoko's, all her stuff is crashing hard except for her Spider-Gwen #2 variant, the white spider, the ghost spider holding up the cell phone variant. That's her strongest one on the secondary market. But we're talking something I saw that's a 1 in 25 at one point that was slabbed. Somebody was looking for $1,500 to $2,000 for. I'm not sure what they were selling for, but now that comic has come down to about like $200 to $400 people are looking for. Everything else is down to like $20. So modern's very weird in that because it hits hard. So if you're in it to speculate, you better grab it and then get rid of it. But at the same time, that kind of ruins it for everybody else that just wants to read it. And I just want to read Something's Killing the Children.
Did you guys rate it?
I gave it a 4.25.
Just gonna go with a solid 4.
Nice.
I feel like things like this, where stuff has limited print runs and the speculators inflate the prices so much, I feel like it is going to start pushing people to digital in some ways.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. The spec market is going to be its own downfall by doing this, because there is an option to just read it for $4 digitally to pirate it, dare I say.
There are so many series I want to jump in on and collect the singles of, but I just can't afford to go back and get them all.
Oh yeah, it's out of control, and sometimes there's no reason for it.
Yeah, so there are series I want to pick up physically that I can't, so I just end up reading a lot digitally, because the market's made in such a way where I have to, because I can't get physicals.
Yeah, and that's where I do agree with you on the digitals when it gets out of control like this. And I think this is one of those series where it's just out of control for the floppies. Unless you get it day one from the shop for cover price, just absolutely forget it.
Let's see. Moving over to Big Girls number 3, and we can go over this real quick.
Big Girls, yeah. Very fast-moving series.
Yeah, this was pretty much a backstory of what family she grew up with, and how she was turned over to the government to be a big girl, because she already had the big girl. It's kind of funny too that the father's like, I think it was her mother, and they're like, we already know that the dad transmits the gene. Yeah. You know, it's just like, what a piece of shit. He ends up turning his daughter over for money.
Yeah, so Big Girls issue 3, writer and artist Jason Howard. Yep. Sorry, Sean, I took your job on this one.
And I wasn't reading this, so I let you guys do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, just the backstory on Ember, the redheaded big girl that's having the moral dilemma, and just things moving along with the counter movement, thinking or knowing that the Jacks have some kind of intelligence and wanting them to be saved instead of just mindlessly killed.
Yep. And it has such an Attack on Titan like vibe, you know, just like with like big fucking things. It's cool. I like the art a lot. I think it fits the story well.
Yeah, it's very
etching.
Very action comic booky.
Yeah.
Dare I say? I mean,
it totally
a lot of speed lines, a lot of kind of stretching of the features while they're in action. You definitely get that momentum feeling from
everything's
the
moving.
series.
Yeah, everything's like moving. It's cool.
Yeah, and it's filling stuff.
Have you guys read Trees or Horizon?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, Jason Howard's done both of those, and those are really good.
He did the art. He does the art on them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. He's pretty solid here.
Oh, sorry, he only does covers for Horizon, but he did the art on Trees, that was Warren Ellis. That was a Warren Ellis thing. But the stories were pretty good. I just looked up Big Girls and I'm like, oh, I know exactly which artist that is.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty tight. It's cool. Everything, like Tab said, everything looks like every action scene has a lot of movement in the lines.
If you like his art, I would definitely check out Trees.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely will, because I picked this up on a whim, and I'm actually really enjoying it, so I'm going to keep reading it. What about you, Tabs? Are you going to keep reading it?
Oh, yeah, it's a very simple read. Obviously, if they wanted to world build more, they could, but there's enough there where just you can fill in the blanks yourself. They give you that little rapid hit bullet point, so it might seem kind of shallow for some people, but at the same time, limited series. I forgot how many it's supposed to be, so it's not wasting its time. It's moving on, and here's your points of interest, and this is the story you're in. We're moving along, kind of thing.
Yep, that's how I feel.
So deep, but not deep in what it's depicting.
Yep,
and you just gotta fill it in.
This issue left us on like a nice cliffhanger of her trying to stand up for one of the Jacks, which are the bad things, and then
which are the boys.
Yeah, so
like literally the boys.
We're gonna see how this goes in the next one, because it looks like they're about to throw down, which is cool. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna keep reading Big Girls. I really like it.
Oh yeah, I like it too. Just Big giant action comic.
Yeah, definitely. With a hint of a nice moral dilemma, which is cool.
Yeah,
Moral dilemma is nice. It's something. It's small, but just enough to make me like think, damn, this is dark. It's a dark story.
Yeah, I mean, it could have definitely gone a bunch of different ways, but just moving along really quick with the story. So I think it was a good choice in that regard. I'd rather be left wanting more out of it, but having those little breadcrumbs for a deeper story than not having it.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree.
So,
so then we'll go over to Justice League, Sean.
What were your ratings, the big girls?
I'd give it a 4. I still like it. It's keeping me roped in, for its story. I'd give it a 4.
Yeah, same. Get background on the hero character.
I wasn't expecting that at all. I'm like, damn, dude, Jesus,
I mean, it was a quick flashback. That's how she came to be within in the city, and
I just
being
didn't
a protector.
expect. I didn't expect it to be like so. Like, fuck, the dad's such an asshole for money.
I think they did mention it either in the first or second issue that the city does pay for the big girls, that they take care of the family, so it became a financial thing after her and the Jack ate the family cows that they were going to sell.
Right.
That he had no money.
He had no choice. That's true. Yeah.
So it's one of those things. He had no choice, but at the same time, what happens because he sold her, and then Dad never came to visit again after that. So clearly, she's much older at that point.
Yep.
And the family sold her off and left her.
You want to hit us with Justice League, Sean?
Yeah, so Justice League 55, written by Joshua Williamson and art by Robson Rocker. And this is part 3 of the Doom Metal arc. And it deals with following the last issue where they're in the Valley of Starro and the Titans all got mind controlled. And it sort of follows on from that and them escaping from the valley, getting rid of their mind control, and Lex Luthor leading them to not Castle Bat, but Perpetua's throne is where they're going to rescue the Legion of Doom.
It's really good.
I didn't like this issue.
Really? I loved it. I loved it way more than the other one.
I thought the last two were a lot better than this. I didn't like how I was expecting more of the Titans being mind controlled and them having to overcome it or something in their own heads. But it was sort of dealt with within like the first 4 pages, and that sort of.
I didn't mind that too much, just because of the repercussions that followed it. Especially considering how it ends. I feel like the ending was a bit rushed, but I really enjoyed this, and I want to see Joshua Williamson do more.
I do really like Williamson.
I feel like this is his strength, and I feel like he took a lot more time on this. I feel like sometimes he rushes things.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
When he rushes something, it kind of feels like how can I explain it? It just kind of feels like he's fulfilling the means to the story when he's rushing, rather than putting substance into it. I think, you know what I mean.
Fair enough.
This one I really enjoyed. What did you think of how it ended?
I thought the second half was stronger than first half, and like I did see I wouldn't say it's a twist because he's only been in the book for 2 pages, but I did see that Martian Manhunter was going to be the Mindhunter Batman. And yeah, they've all sort of been killed by the Omega Titan, haven't they? Omega Knight.
I still don't really understand where that guy came from. Like, as far as do I remember that this is one of those demigods from No Justice?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's been corrupted by Perpetua and like remodeled into a Batman, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They did mention him in one of the previous issues, but I don't remember where it was.
No, they mentioned it like an issue or 2 ago. I remember that part it was last issue. Martian Manhunter went to go fight the Mindhunter, and he was just like chilling in the background, and Martian Manhunter was like, "I'm the only one who has the ability to do this." I will say I'm confused about why they did such an interesting choice on the Metal Men for a ship and then did really nothing with it. I'm hoping.
Yeah, because I saw that on the cover and thought that's a cool idea, but it's just such. Do they even mention the Metal Men, or is Do they even address it?
Not really. I mean, Lex mentions that he found the parts to make the ship at some point and was able to build it, and then nicknamed it Lana, which I'm assuming is named after Lana Lang because they had
That's weird.
Well, in early issues, Lex, Lana Lang, and Clark all went to school together, and they all knew each other. And Lex was really jealous about his relationship with Lana. I'm assuming that that's what that is. I don't know. I have one complaint about the art with it. I love Robson Rocha. The scene where Hawk Girl punches Lex, a person's face, if you're going with a right hook, the face isn't going to go to their left. It's going to go to their right. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I understand the need to do that for an art piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a person who's had his nose broken, I know what that feels like and where you're going to go. Other than that, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm still going to read what the Williamson issues are going to be next.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it this far. I like most of this issue. It was just the opening bit with Starro. I felt it was just a bit of a weird plot point because they set it up from the last issue, and then it was just so quickly resolved in this issue. But yeah, I like most of this issue. We've mentioned this
before. I'm just really excited to read a Justice League story that's not the same 7 superheroes over and over again.
Yeah, definitely. I see that.
I'm happy about that.
Did you rate it?
Yeah, so I gave it I'm going to increase that a little bit. Wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll say that's fair. I gave it a 2.75.
Oh, you're so generous. Look at you, Sean.
Just can't even go for the average 3. Nothing special, nothing bad, just middle of the road. 2.75.
Well, it wasn't bad enough to be a 2.5, but
I enjoyed it.
3.5.
No, yeah, okay, all right. Wasn't a flat half. Okay. All right.
Now, I think moving into my favorite book of the week.
Is that sarcasm?
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Let's move over to
Dark Knight's Death Metal. Robin King. We'll do the first story, which was the Robin Who Would Be King, written by Peter Tomasi and art by Riley Rosmo.
Yeah, it's cool. That's all right. Can't wait for this. I think, you know what I think I'm realizing now? I don't really... If this is how the metal universe has been going, I don't think I really care for it. I don't think anything's cool. I don't think anything cool is happening. Like, I like the little Robin story, but I don't even think I needed the one-shot. I got his little story from one of the one-shots before. Like, I got it. It was fun. It's fun, but... I don't know.
So are you kind of feeling like how I was feeling a couple issues when I jumped off, or it's...
I think I've been feeling your way, Tabs. It's just I've been trying. I'm gonna pick them all up anyway, just because I don't know, they look nice together. They got nice covers and shit. But like, damn, the story though, I'm like, whatever, bro. Whatever,
yeah,
dude. It's just
they're pulling so many of the stories in seemingly random directions to figure out who they are.
I'm just not a multiversal person, I guess. I like being grounded. I just don't want all this like...
I mean, I liked finding out who Robin King was. I liked finding out who the Shadow Batman was in the Speed Metal. But at the same time, I felt like I shouldn't have had to wait 3 issues and some kind of spinoff to figure out who these characters were. On top of like that multiverse of madness nonsense, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm still out, but okay.
I feel the same way.
Spoil who they are?
Say it again, Crave.
You want to spoil who they are?
I think at this point, if people have been reading it, they know that. I'll spoil it, that these characters are evil Bruce Waynes.
Oh, okay, so they're still sticking with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole gimmick.
That is the never-ending gimmick.
Yeah. What if Batman was bad? What if Batman never grew up and was just Robin?
What if he was a car? You know?
And it's frustrating because I feel like in the first Metal series, it was so well done. There was a finite amount of Bruce Waynes. They were all shadows or reflections of the Justice League members, where in each world it was a variation of the Justice League's powers, or he's had to take them down, or something like that. And then this one, they've just gone, oh, we're going to turn that up to 1,000.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
And
yeah, it's cool. They talk about where the Robin came from, and how the Batman Who Laughs approached him originally. Then it turns out that the Batman Who Laughed wanted to imprison him. And then by the end of it, he's the Robin King because all the Robins that in the other universes, I guess, respected him because he's a free thinker or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, because he got the same procedure done that turned them all into the Crows.
Right.
But because he had trained so much more than all of them, he was still able to maintain his consciousness to a level.
Right.
And then when does he break out of it? He mentions that when something happens, he's able to come back.
I don't even recall. I think I read whatever issue that was. It all just feels so random and thrown together.
Yeah.
And just hit the blend button and see what comes out with it. There's something coherent here for sure. I definitely do like aspects of death metal, but the way it's being executed is very confusing, and I just couldn't do it.
I want to see how it ends at this point. I just want to see what is the point of all of it. It's a lot going on. I mean, it's funny, there were times, okay, so there are times when you're like, you're like, oh my god, this is a story where Robin has fucking kryptonite ring, a rainbow lantern ring, and another fucking ring. It's all these. It's like, oh, that's so cool, but no, I'm tired of this OP shit. It's just all OP shit. So.
Yeah, there's that aspect too. There's just way, way, way too many overly powered characters clashing, in my opinion.
Yeah, everything's just OP as fuck. Fuck it. So that's all I really have to say about it. It's good. It was a tie-in. It talks about the Robin.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the second story, The Quiet Ones by Tony Patrick and art by Daniel St. Pierre?
Sure.
It happened. Not a lot happened.
It happened. It was a thing. It's a story.
Yeah, this one was about Signal. Right.
He's fighting a evil Signal, or a Batman who had to evolve to be. It was Ra's al Ghul, Signal, and Batman fell into a
pit together, and this is what
Lazarus pit, and they came out as one.
That's a cool concept, but once again, it just ends with him getting his power back, Signal, and right, and he's just
But the sad thing is, we've just run through this second story in 10 seconds, and said, yeah, it happened. It was, it is what it is, and it's probably better. It's probably better than the first story.
It probably was. I think it was. Yeah. I think it was. I think it was cooler to have the three fall into the pit, Yeah,
and I would like to see more of the younger generation of the Bat family, Spoiler, Orphan, Tim Drake, and Signal together.
Yeah, okay.
Because I feel like Signal's in a weird place where he doesn't have anywhere in the Bat family to fit in, and I feel like he could be part of that younger generation with Tim Drake and Stephanie.
You don't belong. No.
No. Can I ask a question in regards to the Bat family?
You may.
Why is her name Spoiler? It just seems so
because
generic.
Her father was Clue Master, and he would leave clues for Batman to solve crimes, I think, and she ended up spoiling the crimes.
Okay.
It's a very 90s thing.
Okay. It just seems like such a generic, silly name. Again, coming from somebody who hasn't really read it, so if I was a fan, I might appreciate it more. But it seems like a very silly name.
She's a pretty good character in general. I do understand the name's a bit weird. It's quite funny whenever I'm on the DC Comics subreddit and someone spoiler tags something. Someone's like, "Oh, Stephanie Brown." I don't remember her being in this issue.
I mean, yeah. I'm not saying the character's bad, just the name is very silly.
Yeah.
At least Orphan stands out and has a little bit of an impact considering her background and everything. Just coming in and this is Spoiler. Oh, okay. I don't know. Just my hot take.
No, I agree. That's why I agree with it. No, I agree with it too. It's a little weird. But
just name change, please.
Yep.
Well, she has been Robin and Batgirl.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that she was Batgirl, but still, I mean, if she's going to stand on her own, just again, my opinion, spoilers a little. I get it, but it seems a little silly at this point.
Yeah.
I gave this a 2.5.
Yeah, I will be down with that. 2.5, sure. It's just he's not. I feel bad. Art's really cool, just the story overall.
I'm not a fan of Rosmo's art, to be honest. It's a bit too.
Oh yeah, this art was weird. Sorry, I'm just talking about the mainline death metal. Like, it's cool concept. The concept's cool. It's just story. We'll see what we'll see. I feel bad, but we'll see. It just seems like a lot of effort. A lot of effort going in and drawing this huge thing. I just don't see it really coming to anything that I'm.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out. Tune in next week. Let's see. Then it's Iron Man, right?
Yeah, sorry, what have the others given for rating? Who else read it? I sort of zoned out at the beginning. No one else read it?
Nobody. Okay. Ain't nobody. Right.
Yeah, nobody. So Iron Man number 2. Oh, sorry, Tabs, were you hopping off now?
Yeah, I don't really have anything other than Spider-Woman and Nomen Omen, but not much to say
give a shout out to those.
Nomen Omen's a 15. Been confirmed as a 15? Or
yes, it has, and cool. It was on issue 10, so everything's coming to a climax on it.
I'll probably pick up the hardcover. That's cool.
I'm enjoying it if you like magic and everything.
Yeah, I like the concept. I remember you telling me about it.
Yeah, there's more color coming into it, so artistically it's becoming extremely more interesting.
Yeah, that's neat.
From full color to black and white with just a singular colored item here and there, to that there is more color coming into the world based upon the character. So
yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, since nobody else is reading it, I don't want to give anything out, but Nomen Omen, highly recommend, especially if you like magic and things like that. Definitely like the art take on it. And Spider-Woman is just it's Spider-Woman.
Nice.
Just really quick before I hop off,
sure.
Dealing with the high evolutionary, apparently, spoiler, it's just the first 2 issues were interesting, and then all of a sudden her quote unquote mother comes back into it, and it's very strange and kind of like, what? But apparently that's what it is. The high evolutionary is involved with her some way, and she's trying to cure what gave her powers, because it's actually poisoning her. So
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going at this point, so I guess we'll just have to see. It's issue 4 and 5 were very weird. But other than that, I'm gonna hop off now and let you guys go at it.
Hell yeah! Thanks for stopping by, Tabs.
All right, have a good night, everybody.
See ya.
You too.
Latest.
Take care.
I could probably hop off as well.
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to give a shout out to anything you read? Do you want to give a shout out to anything you read, Crave?
Well, I also read Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, was that good? Was that a good?
It's Dark Horse, so Titan Comics has handled quite a bit the past 6 or 7 years, so it's a bit different. I mean, they're going very what's the word? They're sticking with a lot of traditional names, so at some point it's a little hard to read.
Yes. Yeah, like Yorgelfield.
A bit like Firepower. Trying to remember all the names.
Yeah, Ivor and Pedro.
Ragnar.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lead up to the game. I'm still, interested in the games. I'm probably gonna get Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I think this is the first one I'm interested in since like Syndicate or something. I think this is the last one I played.
I've played I played all the main series games and quite a few of the side ones.
Yeah, I think I played all of them except for Rogue. Is that the one, Rogue, where you play the Templar?
Black Flag, 2.0.
Yeah. I think that's the only one I haven't played.
It's all right. I mean, it's Black Flag Light.
Yeah. I miss Desmond. He was like the through line, and then they got rid of him. And
yeah, I kind of miss
too far off.
Desmond died 8 years ago.
Yeah.
We've had no development of the plot since then. They just sort of scrapped for modern day stuff, but they randomly include like
the past 2 games. What was the one? Oh, Assassin's Creed
Origins and Odyssey.
Origins and Odyssey, they have the same main character in the present day.
Yeah, it's Layla, isn't it?
Trilogy with Valhalla in this. So I think this is supposed to kind of round things out. I mean, through all the games, since Desmond has been gone, other characters that were in the other games appear as well. I can't really remember their names. I mean, Desmond's dad appears at the end of Origins.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know
appear in and out of the other games as well. And they've added other new characters.
Yeah, I remember Sean and Rebecca showed up in Black Flag, sort of around the office.
I think it's worked. I'm not 100% sure of the directionality of this, but characters from the comics have appeared in the game as well.
Okay.
I think that's the direction it's worked.
Did they get into any God stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Nice. That's kind of what I'm interested in.
There's a whole, in Odyssey, there's a whole, Atlantis.
Oh, that's sick.
Side game kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
I need to play more Odyssey.
Yeah.
I played like the first quarter, maybe first third, and it was good.
Yeah, I covered the whole map. I did the whole main storyline, and then I got into all of the extras, and then I just kind of lost focus on it.
Yeah, it was a very good game, but I don't think it was a good Assassin's Creed game.
True. Very true.
And same with Origins. It was a great game, but it just wasn't an Assassin's Creed game.
Alright. With that, I'll leave you guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah, see you,
Cool.
Thank you.
See you later.
Alright, Iron Man.
Is anyone else leaving, or are we good?
We got, 3 left to talk about?
Yeah,
right.
Iron Man, Devil's Highway, and Black Widow.
Yeah, I think,
So, Iron Man #2, written by Christopher Cantwell and art by Cafu.
How is it?
It's good. Yeah, this is really
I'm
cool.
loving
this.
this.
Awesome. Yeah. This is, better than, the Batman just reset himself, Iron Man reset himself. This shit's going really well.
When I read Batman, I messaged Dave and I said it's with Batman going back to basics, it's doing what Iron Man's doing, because this is as well. He's moved into the city. He's in a house in New York.
Yep.
Trying to be a hero for people more than
he's street level again. Street level. So it's cool. I like the beginning fight with the Absorbing Man. I like the Absorbing Man. He's an interesting character. I seen him in a comic or in the animated series. It was really cool. So the Absorbing Man touched Mjolnir because Thor was fighting him, and he ended up becoming the the Uru metal of Mjolnir, and then he starts whooping Thor's ass, and he's like, "Come on, fight me!" And he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm concentrating," and he ends up stopping him right before he punches him. And he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, Thor was just like, "You were a fool to take on the metal of Mjolnir. They're the essence of Mjolnir," and then he just sends him off into space. It was fucking sick. So it's pretty dope. The Absorbing Man kind of screwed himself by becoming Mjolnir in that case. It was interesting. He had pretty much control over him. But in this one, he becomes Iron Man's suit, and it's cool. He gets a nice gloss over, metal.
If you guys have not read anything about the Immortal Hulk stuff, the Absorbing Man has a very large role.
He's a gamma.
He was
creature.
in what I've read.
He's a gamma creature, which is sweet.
It's cool.
Yeah, I like giving him a good. His power's neat, so it's because in the original Hulk movie, that's the Absorbing Man. His dad is the Absorbing Man. Is he not? He's literally absorbing. In the original Hulk movie, the Yang
Lee one.
Yeah, Ang Lee one.
I basically made him.
Yeah, that was he was the Absorbing Man, kind of.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
No, no, but that's what they were doing, I guess. But he's a cool.
I don't think anyone liked it.
I think he's a cool. The Absorbing Man is he's to be able to absorb powers and shit or whatever, and take on the metal or the materials neat. But yeah, no, this was solid. It was just Iron Man, dude. It was sick actually. At the very end, like it ends up Iron Man having to, he has to break all these people out of. I'm sorry, what are they caught in? I can't remember. They're running out of air. They're in some kind of like facility, and like they're losing oxygen, and the only way in, and it's like it's made up of a metal.
Yeah,
like,
so the villain Cardiac has kidnapped a load of pharmaceutical scientists, Stark pharmaceutical scientists.
By the way, Cardiac, oof. I love that character's coming back more and more these days.
Yeah, Iron Man's supposed to bring back a lot of old
Christopher
characters.
Cantwell's bringing back some like obscure characters. We've got like Arcade in the opening scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right.
The first issue had Unicorn.
I don't know if Hellcat gets used recently, but she's in it too. You know, I don't think
and
he's like
Tony's partnered up with Hellcat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So the only way it's really cool. The way it ends is just like Tony going full fucking speed ahead. He can't bust through the metal, so he runs his arm and he does like the damage. He assesses the damage before he does it, and they're like, "You're gonna break. You're gonna destroy your arm." They're
trapped in this metal orb, and he gets Friday to do a breakdown of the molecular whatever it's called, and it's 32% vibranium, 26% adamantium, and 40% iron.
So there's no getting through it.
Yeah, his weapons are ineffective. So yeah,
he brute force flies into it as fast as he can with his fists and ends up breaking like 17 bones doing it. So it's cool. Now we have like
there's a panel of his hand just like hanging inside of it, mangled, and like looks messy. 17 fractures, lung punctured, heartbeat irregular, and he's just sort of hanging there. He's like, "Am I dying? Am I dead?" It's really good.
I'm trying to think. I just don't know who the guy I forget who Milo Masark is.
Where am I looking?
Oh, Unicorn. That's right. It was Unicorn.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Unicorn.
I was trying to figure out. I know they said it. So yeah, it ends up with him in the hospital. It's pretty dope. I like that. I like that he made that sacrifice. He sacrificed his arm for that. That was cool.
I'm increasing the score for this issue because I actually really like this.
Yeah, I give it a 4. Liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 4 as well. I had a 3.5, but I was like, actually, this is really good. Like, the art's amazing.
Super solid, yeah, super solid. I'm really digging Iron Man. I'm glad Iron Man has a cool story. He's not my favorite superheroes. Like, even in the...
He's not my favorite superhero.
Yeah, even in...
I tried reading some MCU. Bendis Iron Man and didn't really like it, and then I tried reading Slott's Iron Man and didn't really like it. So this is the first Iron Man where I've started reading. I'm like, holy shit, this is really good.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Really cool.
I didn't mind the Dan Slott stuff. It's not my favorite thing ever, but
yeah, it didn't seem bad. It just wasn't. Yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know. It was not the kind of book I'd keep picking up.
No, I understand.
But yeah, Cafu, however you say his name, his artwork is great.
So I'm gonna keep reading that. Let's move over to Devil's Highway number 4.
Yeah, Devil's Highway number 4, written by Ben Percy, art by Brent Schoonover. And this issue really builds up the organization of like the truckers.
Yeah, you start realizing how deep it goes. It's fucking nerve-wracking that these guys just open up their truck. They're like, "Yeah, look at this bad boy, brand new, custom built, like torture chamber." You know, you're like, "What the fuck?"
This is such a dark series, but I really like this series.
Yeah, me too.
Really well written.
This one was honestly kind of like a passerby, like of an issue, meaning just because she gets to at the end, she gets to what, you know what I mean? Like you learn about the trucks and stuff, but it's really just a means to an end. They needed to track down the lady with the tooth. You know?
Yeah, this is just one of the issues that sort of moves the story along nicely.
Yeah.
Doesn't introduce anything new, but it's still
she does
solid.
Some badass. She kicks some people's ass, which is dope. And like I said, she ends up coming, who I think is from the second issue, the lady with the tooth. You know, I think that's from the second issue.
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
Dang. So I liked it. It's still really good. It's a 5, so one more issue left to see how this thing wraps up. So she's just trying to solve her father's murder. So let's hope I'm hoping she does.
Yeah, and these truckers are just, it's so creepy. And they've all got like the little split tongue, like snake tongue.
Definitely creepy son of,
This is Kelly Thompson, correct?
Ben Percy.
Ben Percy.
On this one?
Yeah, Devil's Highway.
Oh, okay. Why did I think it was Kelly Thompson? Did I read that somewhere?
I don't know.
I think I'd give it a 3.5 only because it was a means to an end issue. Like I still really
I gave it a 3.75 because it wasn't quite 4, but I felt it was a bit more deserving of a 3.5.
Yeah, right. So
But
cool. I'm gonna keep reading it. It's one left, and I'm excited to see how it ends. It looks like the final thing on our plate is Black Widow 1 through 6.
Yeah.
Of the 2016 run, I believe.
Yeah, Mark Waid, Chris Samney.
Yeah, I picked this up as a collected. This is welcome to the collected edition corner, sponsored by Dave and all his collected editions. So I picked this one up because I think originally I was gonna read Black Widow, the current run, and then Sean had mentioned that there's a Mark Waid that was really good, so I picked it up and I ended up reading that instead. And I just discovered Chris Samney through Firepower, and holy shit, it's his art to a T. It's so good. The art is so good. I really like how Black Widow's drawn. Like she's very like in the run, super clean. I could see how she could be a seductress, but she's so badass, dude. She's literally fucking got like glass stuck in her eye. She's like bleeding, you know. It's like holy shit. She's got the shit kicked out of her. So overarching story through 1 through 6 is that she's a pretty much traitor to Shield, and we're kind of discovering.
The first issue is incredible.
Yeah, what an action pack. That I flipped through that and probably like, I don't know. It was like flip. Like,
the first issue is her. It starts off with like them doing a like announcement like Black Widow's on the run, stop her before she escapes the facility. So it's her like running through this Shield facility, taking people down as she's running, and then she like jumps out a window. And I won't say the camera panned out, but like on the next page, open it's like a big page, and we see her just falling out of the Shield helicarrier.
I was so sick because it was so funny. Like she jumps out, and I flip the page, and I'm like, wow, what are they just doing? Like a landscape shot? So I flip to the next page, and then I flip back. I'm like, oh fuck, she's like that little dot, like in the air, jumping out of the fucking shit. I was like, that's crazy, dude. That was such a cool scene. Such a cool scene. He nails colors too really well. Is he the colorist?
Yeah, Matt Wilson does the colors.
This Matt Wilson character, great fucking colorist. Is he coloring
I'm pretty
Firepower as well?
I think he's doing Firepower as well. Yeah,
it is exactly the same. It is so on point. They could exist in the same universe if they wanted to do it. Like it's sick.
I feel like Mark Waid really does. Like when he gets a lot of creative freedom, he really does stand out really well.
Great story. Great story.
Run Champions was really really good when he wrote that.
Let's to get to. I'm on the same page for 1 through 6, Sean. The way it ends in 6, we get the understanding that Black Widow is the reason that Yen Sin ended up with the people and is the reason why Iron Man is alive. Right?
Yeah. She's responsible for Yinsen being captured by whoever. It was the 10 Rings in the movie. I don't know who it was in here.
Yeah, I forget. They're called like the War something. The War something, I think.
Yeah.
No, but to clarify, she, back in the day, the same time that Iron Man was kidnapped, Yen Sin was kidnapped. That was her doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like she did this while she was an Avenger. So, like, fuck that. And if anything, Iron Man should be grateful because he wouldn't be alive if she never did that. So, in reality, she saved his life, you know? Holy shit, that's deep.
But,
really
there's an issue where Iron Man comes after her because he finds out that she was responsible for Yinsen getting captured.
And that's like
his problem is like,
that's his bread and butter, you know?
Yeah, because his point of view is like, I owe that man everything. You're responsible for him dying. And he's not unreasonable about it.
No.
He handles it.
I really like it. Yeah, I really love. And
he handles it very maturely.
I love the way the Iron Man suit is drawn in it because it's so like different. Like it's so like if you remember, there's a scene, probably in issue 6, maybe 3 pages in or something. It's like Iron Man flying. I don't know. It's at the top. It's at the very top of the page, and it's just so colorful and shit. And like the suit just looks unique to the world that it's being drawn in. So it's just really nice. I believe it's issue 6. I think it's at the top of one of the pages. Yeah, he's like flying to Paris, I believe, to catch her because she's doing it by a payphone. Which is funny because Tony thinks he's so smart. He like captured her. Literally, he doesn't know that she's setting his ass up this whole time.
Yeah, so there's a great bit later where she's like, someone in the
has a long voicemail. You know, like a 2-hour voicemail.
I can't remember where she said, but she was like, someone in like the Long Beach area is going to have a very confusing 3-hour voicemail.
Yeah, that's hilarious, dude. She even played it off really well too when she got when Iron Man showed up, because she was just like, "Oh, it's nobody, just somebody come to kick my ass." Like she even like
she's like an old flame just showed up. It's that kind of day.
Yeah, perfect. I really like this. I can't wait to finish it. It's super fast paced. I don't know if it's Sam Nee that translates the written work into fast paced movement, but he really knows how to like keep it moving fast and like then slow down for a dialogue page, then move.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's rushed at all. It feels so perfect. It's very satisfying to be able to flip through pages fast. Like, you know, it's something where you're like, let's just say you've read a bunch of comics and you're just waiting for one to not be such an eyesore, you know, like it's constant wordage on a page. You just pick his up and you're just like, boom, boom, boom. You're like, okay, read. Boom, boom, boom. You're like, okay, read. You're like, holy shit. Like, it's just satisfying the way he writes or the way he draws the shit. And like, I don't know if that's supposed to be credit to him because he's working with a different writer on Firepower and it still feels exactly the same. It's like, I don't know if this guy is the dude dictating the pacing. Like really well.
Him and Wade definitely have a good working relationship because they've done Black Widow, they did Daredevil, they did
they did
Captain America together. Yeah.
I
don't know if they've done anything else, but
crazy. He's definitely like he's a good artist, and this guy's a good writer because this story for her is really good. It almost feels like it could have been a plot. It's almost like any of these traitor stories are great. Like Captain America could be a traitor. You know, she could be Maria Hill, Nick Fury, anyone. You know, like those stories are good with having somebody being treacherous around Shield.
Yeah,
I'm digging it. I'm digging it so much. I want to finish it. And when we finish it, probably for the next week, and we'll go over the rest of it. He's just nailing like I swear there's so many scenes where like, did you do it? And she's like, what do you think? And then it's literally like, what do you think? And you look at her and she's got black eyes. She just got fucked up. But she won. She won the fight, you know, kicked his ass. I was just like, damn, that's just awesome. Really well done.
Did you rate these issues?
No, not individually.
No, I did like an overall ranking.
1 through 6? Yeah, I give it a 4.5. It's awesome.
I gave it a 3.75.
Oh no! I still
really enjoyed it. I feel like
what are your qualms?
I'll probably go back and change that once I've read the next 6 because it did kind of end on a cliffhanger. Stuff still unresolved, so it was hard for me to rank it as an overall product.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that first issue would have been a 5 out of 5 because that was a masterpiece.
I think I've been going.
This is that there isn't more Mark Waid doing stories like this. That's my biggest complaint.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, because this is really cool. It's a cool story.
I'm changing my rating to a 4.
Nice to the dark side. I think that
I really want to read more Mark Waid stuff.
Yeah,
because like lots of what he works on at Marvel doesn't really interest me. Because I did Doctor Strange, and I'm not really interested in Doctor Strange. He did a Invisible Woman mini, and like I couldn't be bothered to read that.
Oh, you read Mark Waid's Doctor Strange, you're saying?
Oh no, I'm saying I wish he works on more characters I'm interested in because I'm not interested in Doctor Strange. I'm not interested in Invisible Woman.
My recommendation is going to be read All New, All Different Avengers as it ties into Avengers and Champions. Those are both really good. Champions, he did a story with Humberto Ramos, who he's also worked on before with Flash. Really strong stuff.
I'm going to need to go back and read his Flash at some point if you guys want to join in.
Yes, I do, actually. I really want to
read
that.
Is it a Barry story?
Wally.
No, it's a Wally West and Kid Flash story.
Okay. Wonder.
Oh, right. He did Kid Flash. Yeah,
he created Bart Allen.
Yes, he did.
And most of the Flash supporting cast.
Nice.
He created Speed Force.
Yep. Yeah, he did. He's the guy who was like, look, Speed Force.
He put a limit on their powers, that fucker.
And then Grant Morrison came in and was like, nope, Flash can cross the universe faster than a teleporter.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Or something like that. He did something crazy.
It's Grant Morrison, man. He steps in and he's like, yeah, you remember those squid tentacle monsters from 1771? Oh, they're back. And what happens now? They're Bruce Wayne's alternate sister from a different timeline.
Oh, my God.
What's going to happen to his heart? It's a bomb!
Fuck me. Yeah, I will never read. I have my first Grant Morrison will be Arkham Asylum, and we'll see from there.
His Batman run is very good.
It is. Okay. I have a really big surprise for you guys. 2, actually. I am commissioning artwork from a big name artist that's actually going to be featuring Grant Morrison and Alan Moore.
That's cool. Hell yeah.
Are you both aware that Alan Moore and Grant Morrison are wizards?
Yeah. Well, I think Moore would classify as a warlock, but yes.
So because they're both practitioners of magic,
yes,
that's going to be the basis of my commissioned piece of art. So when that comes through, you guys are going to be the first people to know about it.
Hell yeah. You can reveal. You can do a reveal. Very cool.
Yes. Second, I have a really big thing that happened this week. You guys aren't reading Fantastic Four, are you?
No.
Okay. If anybody is trying to read issue 25 of Fantastic Four, hop off now. Because Nick Fury is back.
I didn't realize Nick Fury had gone.
You didn't know?
So what is he, an Uru? Is he a watcher? Utu,
I did not
he killed Uatu back in...
He killed Uatu and what, became a watcher?
Oh, is this...
What
was the event called?
Original Sin.
Original Sin, yeah, that was it. Is that where he died?
Yes. So Nick Fury has taken over for a long time. This is also the timeline that established that he's old as fuck. Much older than what he's been portrayed as. He's been using life imitating robots. What are those called again?
LMDs.
Thank you. Life mimicking
I answered that before I even registered the question in my head. It was just such an automatic.
So he's been using those to portray a younger Nick Fury for years, when in actuality he is very old.
That sounds like the most Nick Fury thing ever, so I'll go with it.
Yeah. When he killed Uatu, he was trying to absorb the power of the Watchers, and in turn he did. He stole Uatu's eye and put it in his empty eye socket, and it gave him...
shit.
His motivation is he wanted to be able to protect people at all costs. This is another thing that was a part of the disbanding of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's been living on the moon ever since, and he was imprisoned by other Watchers to forever watch other people, somewhere in between a Watcher and a human. But he has been failing at his part of being a Watcher. And with everything that's been going on in the Fantastic Four comic book right now, they're leading to what is presumed to be either another event or another really big storyline in Fantastic Four, world-ending stuff. But Nick Fury's finally back. This does not retcon Black Nick Fury, his son, who still exists in this universe and has been giving Invisible Woman a bunch of missions to work on, which was written by Mark Waid.
That's a lot.
Black Nick Fury was Ultimate Nick Fury, wasn't he?
Originally, but now he actually is in this universe as well. He, like I was saying, it's a weird backstory. It's Nick Fury's, original Nick Fury's, air quotes, son. That's the best way to put it. I don't really know the other full side of it. I remember Deadpool had an issue where he was going around and being like, what the fuck is happening to my comic book? It was very confusing for everybody. But Sam Jackson's such a popular character that people are just like, what?
I think he's one of the few characters that you could literally, this is just my opinion. Nick Fury is one of the few characters that you could have just made him black at any point after Samuel L. Jackson, and I would have just accepted it as it just fits the character better. I don't know. I saw him on screen, he looked better, so I would just take that.
My issue is I think that it's more appealing to the normies than anything, and I like when the characters are... I don't mind changing the characters around in the comic books. Obviously, character changes are fascinating, and I think that's really good. When you're trying to do it to appeal to people who have never read comics before, I think that's a mistake.
Sure. But we can take into account, if I were to defend it, which I don't really care, but if we were to take into account that the ultimate version, I mean, I know it was a cop-off off Samuel Jackson, but it was in the comics before it was on screen. So it's that's why I was just I mean, I get the separate universes, 616 and all that, but I looked at it and I was like, honestly, when I see Nick Fury as white now, I'm always like, the fuck is this? You know, like I forget. Like I read a Captain America run like, I don't know, a couple months back, and it was white Nick Fury, which is fine. I mean, it catches even me off guard. And I knew him as a white guy first. But it was just like so implanted in it now.
I think the problem is like the same thing with Miles Morales. I love Miles Morales. He's one of my favorite characters in Marvel Universe of all time. I'm still not comfortable with him being in the 616. In fact, I don't really like it.
I don't like it either, and I haven't read any of it, but I just personally I don't like how they did that event or whatever where they collapsed that universe and then they ended up in there. No, Miles Morales and somebody else made it over too.
Kinda.
Like,
so like this is the issue that they recognized that, you know, he's from a different universe. Spider-Man 2 did a really, really good job with it. That was some really good Bendis Spider-Man work, but it still feels weird. I don't know. So this is another reason why I think you guys should hop on Venom, is because right now...
I've read most of Venom. I've already hopped on.
Well, then are you reading this?
No, I read up to Absolute Carnage and then didn't finish it. I finished Absolute Carnage, but I didn't follow on from that onto Venom Island.
There's a lot of times where I'm reading this, and this feels like Donny Cates is paying tribute to 90s edgelord comics, and I love it. At the same time, it's also like, what am I reading? I really liked this. This is Venom Beyond, and it's going into another universe that was opened up by Ultimate Universe Reed Richards, where Venom's Eddie Brock's son is now like the big bad guy, and that's him holding the alternate version of him.
Okay.
It ties into what's going to be happening with Kenyon Black, but Donny Cates really likes the Ultimate Universe, and he's a really big fan of Miles Morales, and I think that he's trying to...
Yeah, because Miles he was only in Absolute Carnage for a little bit, but he had quite a cool role in that, I felt. Or it might have been the first arc of Spider-Man he was in, actually. Not Spider-Man, Venom. I know he was in it at some point, and Venom was like, you call that a Venom blast. Good. That's cool.
I don't understand the necessity. I think that people are smart enough to be able to read Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman and Miles Morales Spider-Man and recognize that they're from different universes without them needing to be in the 616. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just me.
No, I agree. I don't think they should have made their way over. I think that was a business transaction. That's how it seemed, which is not usually how I want things to go.
I will catch up on Venom before King and Black.
Let's go to
I can do that.
Yeah, he can. He's a wizard. A wizard with he's got comic endurance, reading endurance. I think I do too. But
I've got insomnia, so I can just read all night.
Yes. I'm telling you, the reefer. It works. You're
a bad influence.
I know. This is true. Let's see. Let's go to our
They told me Satan would be attractive.
Yeah. Our solicits for next week.
Yeah.
The 10/28 week, right? Yeah. We got 3 Jokers. We got Bliss. We got another fucking one shot. Dark Knight's Death. Like I said, I'm still collecting.
Did I not send the list to the chat? I've got all the ones we're reading on the chat, so you don't have to scroll through the.
Oh, you do there, bud.
Where they at, though?
Oh yeah, you did it like a while. Yeah, I should have pinned it. Yeah, I remember.
I've still got a screenshot here I can send.
Yes.
Is it that one? No, it is that one.
But a Strange Cat. Ooh, my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. The Last Ronin. Finally.
Wait a minute. I thought... Oh, okay. Okay, it's X of Swords Stasis. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Wait, Department of Truth is this week?
Yeah.
I'll pick that up.
What? Oh, what in the goddamn?
What in the goddamn?
And Shang-Chi?
Okay, question. Is anybody else like Batman 3 Jokers it's supposed to be only 3 issues, right?
Yeah, this is the last one.
So what the hell? What do they do? How are they going to wind this up? They barely. I don't know, man. This is weird.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just want Jeff Johns to go back to doing like long, decade-long runs on characters.
Same.
Do you think
his Green Lantern is incredible?
It's so good.
Do you think that it's going to end, or do you think he's going to lead in? Does Jeff Johns have anything next immediately?
Like nothing lined up.
Oh no. Shit!
Oh, we're gonna wait another 5 years with no Jeff Johns fucking comic books again.
Does it say how long this book is gonna be? Like, is it 60 pages?
You just reminded me. I need to call my therapist.
Because of Jeff Johns.
Yes.
Why isn't he writing more? I just miss him.
Dear therapist, Jeff Johns.
I'm mad.
Send.
We got Wind number 5, which is the last issue of Wind.
For
book 1. I believe there's going to be more.
But yeah, just it's an extended break, right?
Yeah, it might come back as like Wind and then have a subtitle and be issue 1 again.
Like Wind, the Dark Wiener, or something like that.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah. Cool.
Or it might come back in a few months of issue 6. I don't know. But this is the end.
I think I would like Wind and a title. I think I'd like each book. What if it was? Yeah. I don't know.
Because issue 1 started with like Wind book 1.
Yeah, I think.
And then
but it didn't have a name, did it? Just said book 1. It was like book 1.
I'm just gonna have a quick check. I think it just said Wind book 1.
Yeah. Okay. It would have been cool if it said book 1 to like The Awakening or something. Then each book could kind of have like its own thing, but it still can do that anyway. So.
Yeah. I'll have a quick check while you talk about other stuff.
Yeah, and I have.
Yeah. We've got. Is that the second to last issue of Suicide Squad? Issue 10. Yeah. Issue 11's the last. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's
excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, that's not on your thing. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Undiscovered Country number 9.
Yeah, that's neat. I'm excited to see where that's going. That's why I feel bad about the Dark Knights, because like Snyder's he's doing a really good job on the Undiscovered Country. Like the story's all there, and like
he's just gone too big with.
Yeah, but I don't even think death metal or whatever is even a good representation for any writer. It just sounds like a fucking mosh posh of nonsense, and that's what it was. I don't know. If
Wind book 1 is called The Flight of the Prince.
Ooh, did it say that in there?
Yeah, book 1, issue 1 has book 1 Flight of the Prince.
Fuck me, that's cool. I hope they all have like their own little books and their flavors.
Yeah.
Wow, it feels like it's gonna be like an epic now. It could be like 7 books deep. Like something like that.
I think it's supposed to be 3 trades.
Ooh. If it comes out in Omni, well, let's see, 3 trades, so that's 5. So that's 15. Yeah, you get a nice size hardcover. Yeah, nice size hardcover. That's cool. Damn, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? No, it's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Cool.
Well, you want to shout out your stuff? Ty, you want to shout out your stuff?
Yeah, so next week we've got issue 51 of The Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer. I'm assuming it's going to be Pat Gleason again. I am cautiously optimistic about how this is going because it seems like they're finally digging into the Kindred storyline 50 issues later. So far, I mean, if you have any reason to join on it, I would say Pat Gleason is the big reason. Didn't mean for that to rhyme. Action Comics 1026 is coming out next week by Michael Bendis.
I'll be reading that.
Yeah, 2 issues until it's done, until he hops off his Superman storylines. I said that I was going to start picking up the singles for the Immortal Hulk. Number 39 comes out next week, but I think I am an issue or 2 behind, so I'm probably going to be missing out on that. I do recommend you guys that you pick up The Last God at some point. If you want to get the trade even and then just check out this story, I really recommend it.
It is one I'm going to catch up on.
This is a one-shot, this next Last God release, right?
Yes.
Cool. All right.
I can't tell you how excited I am about it. It's one of those stories that I'm really happy that DC has the Black Label for, because I want more stuff like this from them.
Yeah, me too. Like, I want Black Label shit. I really like.
Well, this is what Vertigo was supposed to be for, and they fucked that up.
Right.
Yes. I'm also going to recommend to anybody who's not reading it, Thor with Donny Cates is also very, very, very good right now. Really tongue-in-cheek right now. Some really, really good stuff is going on that made me laugh. There was a big thing all over the internet. Thor threw his hammer to Earth, and it had Iron Man's phone number on it that you could actually call. I did personally call it. It's very funny.
That's good.
That is pretty funny. I like that like interactive shit.
Yeah.
Side note before Sean does his sign off stuff. Oh wait, did you want to do your sign off? Did you tell him about your talking about comics?
Oh yeah. You can find me on Twitter. It's talking about comics, talking with no G, about with no A, and comics with an X.
There's a Kojima. I don't know if you guys know who Kojima is, the game developer for like he
Hideo.
Yes. He is apparently working on a horror game that is supposed to break the fourth wall. No, but it's like how you said how you got to interact with. You could give a phone call to the hammer, the number on the hammer, and you would get like you get like a voicemail or something. You're supposed to give your, from my understanding, you're going to give your email address, and it is going to like interact with you throughout the day, like you shouldn't have went through that door, buddy. Like some weird shit. So like
that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, Kojima is trying to break the fourth wall, kind of like how Marvel did with the hammer drop and the number. That's a cool thing. It's cool to interact like that. So like apparently you'll be getting messages throughout the day like how to solve this. I don't know. It's scary, but Kojima, I could see him doing it. So if it's anybody, he'll probably pull it off. Sean, did you want to shout out your stuff?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Sean.Walsh747.
And then I am excited for The Last Ronin. I don't read any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this is like a side story, so super stoked about that. And you can find me, Flea's Fist, at Instagram and Twitch. I think I might be moving my music stuff over to YouTube though, but we'll see. I don't know. But how about we just sign off with a nice bye for now? See you guys. Hope you enjoyed this issue of Beyond the Source Wall. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.